Wow. What a George is always on it with the music. Where would we be without George? But happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to Calls from Beyond. I'm your host, Austin, joined by our fabulous co-host, the Black Cauldron.
Hey girls, hey.
And don't get it twisted, that name is interchangeable. Host, co-host. George could even host, co-host. We got George, though. What's up, George?
Hi. How's it going, everybody?
Is Mr. Fresh making an appearance at some point tonight?
I believe he is.
Sheesh.
I believe he
Him
is.
and I got to be sad about the NFL season together at some point. So, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to Calls from Beyond. If this is your first time watching the show, this is a live call-in show where you, I'm pointing at you. I know you're looking at the TV wondering. You get to call into the show and tell us your creepy stories about the paranormal, Bigfoot, especially if you've seen Bigfoot. Like, I think we need to hear that. We need to hear that one.
We do.
Sleep paralysis, the paranormal, aliens, any cryptid, anything creepy, true crime.
Yeah.
We had one lady who called in and like solved a crime case.
I'm still, and she still watches. I am actually starting a whole every week. God damn, I can never get it right on my own. But I'm actually starting a bunch of true crime content. So yeah, I wrote 2 fire scripts last night and I plan on recording them. So even true crime, you can call in.
Ooh, one sec. Stream's looking a little rough.
Yeah, I'm hoping it straightens itself out here, Mr. Austin. But if not, I'll get the backup ready on deck.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we're still live, so they can probably hear us just fine. But happy Tuesday, everybody. We have a guest today. And should we see if her camera works?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I did at the beginning.
Okay. We have Miss Rah Rivera in, who is a Reiki Master.
Yes.
Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Because apparently up until today, I really didn't know much about you, even though you've been a client of mine for quite some time.
Very true.
So
I'm
you
like,
have
thanks, Austin, for telling me.
Reiki Master, though, is like the basic. So, I mean, if you want to expand on that, I'm a psychic medium and a channeler, and I work through the art of Reiki.
She sure did. She has some really good content on. First of all, I'm going to link her down below because I love your content.
Oh, thank you.
And we had a wonderful, I was the interviewee for once. It felt nice just to just show up and not have to prepare or anything. But we had a really good show with her on her channel. And my ancestors came through and was speaking another language. And if you follow me over on TikTok, you know how much I was teasing about how my Nigerian ancestors were jealous that I was learning Mandarin and not them. So it was just interesting to kind of see someone come through and she channeled them and they speak another language. You guys just give us a second. I know it's
a
lagging.
power issue. Does that seem to be the problem? It wasn't plugged in. Welcome to the world of gaming laptops, where if it's not plugged in, it just refuses to work.
Somebody said this got to be on dial-up.
They can hear us just fine.
Oh my God!
But
you must be new here. They can see us, but it's lagging. We always have technical difficulty.
The new studio is almost done.
Yeah.
So that place will be a little bit more dialed in, just because.
Dial-up.
How's it looking now, George?
It's a rock dial-up, actually.
We should be good here in a little bit.
Just give us a second, but you guys can still hear us. But yeah, we had a really good time. I'm so appreciative of you even letting me on your space.
Oh, thanks for coming on. We had amazing conversations, and that was a nice little channel and a little language from your peeps. And they
got on your ass. I'm just gonna say, because that TikTok you made last week about going to Red Note. First of all, I called her.
It made sense.
Yeah.
I called her. I go, "You're dirty as fuck for that." That's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
No, because it was literally so. Everybody went to Red Note while TikTok was before Doomsday and on Doomsday. And so what I was doing was learning basic Mandarin, and I made a TikTok. Right, exactly. They was looking at me, and I could feel the spiritual eyes at the back of my neck. I know you're fucking lying. You gotta be lying. You never even attempted to learn Yoruban, Igbo, none of your people's language. So whenever you're somebody is trying to come through, and you said something in a foreign language, I was just I don't know what that is. I can't wait to see the episode so I can rewind it back and send it to a couple people that I think may know what it means. So, but yeah.
And even if it doesn't translate to like the exact wording,
yeah,
then maybe they could understand the energy of what they're saying, right? Because we all felt that little whenever I said that. And I was like, please don't ask me to say it again because I don't even know what the fuck I said.
Yes, we know the screen is frozen.
We're working on
it together.
Sage
right
the
now.
router is what they said.
Yeah, we just might need to. Oh wait, it looks like we're kind of.
It looks better now.
I definitely feel like.
And Miss Kamisha K sent us a $4.99 super chat. Says I've been MIA, glad to be back.
Hey, Kamisha
we're glad
girl.
to have you here. Franny said we're so back. Franny started a new job today. I can't say where. But it's really cool, and it's something he's really passionate about. So everybody give it up for Franny, following his dreams.
Fran man.
It's a really cool job. I think he's working with like puppies or something. I don't know.
That's cute.
Oh, and before we even get into today's episode, you guys were right. I owe you guys the hugest thank you. My cat was pregnant, and y'all were telling me it was pregnant, and we have 5 kittens. Well, really 3 because 2 of them are already claimed. But she was definitely, and it was the cat that I suspected too that did that to my sweet baby girl because one of them looked just like that heathen, the cat ninja that was going. The cat ninja. I'm still expecting some cat food, but over 500,000 subscribers, followers was like, yeah, your cat's pregnant. So I appreciate y'all telling me.
Well, I think I told you first because you asked me because you found out I worked at a vet. I did work at a vet for
like, it could be she's just
7 to 8
good.
months.
I'm
yeah.
like, no, this cat is sleeping. Did you know that cats have regular pregnancy symptoms?
Yep.
Without being pregnant?
No, like when they're pregnant.
When they are.
Like
they crave Taco
up.
Bell.
Yes.
Okay.
She was yakking on the back porch one day. She slept a lot. I had to feed her 3 times a day and treats.
Damn.
So, but yes, she gave birth.
Turn
to
into
some
feline
kittens.
mom.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Grandma Pa.
Yes. I got grand kittens.
Grand kittens.
But like we were saying, I'm sorry about the picture, but
it's better now. We're good.
We're good now. Okay.
We're good now. We've been good.
So we are going to take calls in a little while. So make sure that you use the number at the bottom of the screen. If you are a member of this channel, you do get 1 free Skip the Line per month. And if not, you are able to pay $9.99 to skip the line.
Yes, ma'am. They can do that by either super chatting to Calls From Beyond or the Black Cauldron. But we'll get to that here in a second about the Black Cauldron. And then as well as Calls From Beyond on CashApp, just $ Calls From Beyond. So if you noticed, we're not live on the Truly Bizarre, and that is because we're trying to look, y'all. We've been giving you guys a year to help us build this channel up because Noah's content is Noah's content, my content is my content, but this is our, I guess, communist, our content. And so, I'm thinking after this week, it's probably just going to be Calls From Beyond if you're not here.
Yeah, Calls From Beyond is where we need to be watching. I know we've given y'all some soft launches, but starting in February, we're just going to be over on that channel. So if you love the content in the show, make sure you are subscribed to Calls From Beyond. Someone says she ain't no sweet baby girl. She's a city girl.
She a city girl.
And she gave birth in my neighbor's house. Like, I thought
the audacity.
I thought she got hit by a car. She was missing for days. So we
pregnant.
finally found out, that she gave birth, went in there and had 5 kittens, and now she wants to come home. She's on my security camera because she won't use cat litter. And she's being let out to use the restroom, and she's coming to my door.
Have you thought about getting her? Will she let you touch her?
Yes.
Have you thought about like AirTag collar?
Yes. Well, she's going to get taken care of, fixed, and she's getting a chip. And
they'll do that for free.
She's locking her down.
You can TNR them.
Yeah, because that little cat ninja keep coming by. He been eating the food I put out.
Sorry, Lauren just posted. Should I ask for support for the cat father?
Yep. We need
No.
cat support.
He needs to start paying child support. Okay,
Yeah.
kitten support.
Yep, because it's 5 of them.
So we already have a few callers lined up, but I want to let you guys have more time to kind of pile in because Rah said this story last week on her show. So if you don't know, she has a podcast as well, which is how I made this connection because I help her with her podcast. And she told this story about somebody who, I don't know if they were in hospice, but they were kind of at end of life cycle.
Yeah.
And what you did. So you're a Reiki practitioner. Before you tell that story, what is it that you were helping them with in terms of using Reiki as a service?
So I was helping. technically they called me in to do Reiki for this person because they knew that she was struggling. And what struggling meant was she was having the symptoms of them believing that she was going to die soon.
Yeah.
Because, they're on hospice, right? But then sometimes it's like, oh, it's fake. As in like, no, they just did get sick and now they're better.
Right.
But the people at the company that knows what I do beyond Reiki was just like, oh, Rah, you're here. Because I stopped by their office and they're like, you got to go over there because she needs help. He needs help. The son needed help.
Like you're super
Yeah.
raw.
Like they're like, can you go and see if she's leaving, you know?
Yeah. It's like,
where's she at?
so
Right.
nonchalant.
Yeah,
Did you
and
see
I
she's
was
leaving?
like, yeah, oh shoot. Yeah, so if she's leaving, and I was like, okay, sure. And it was down the street, and I was like, I wasn't really going to do anything. I was going to go to the library.
right.
And I called, we set it up for the next day, and the patient was like incoherent, you know,
Yeah.
but even though they could always come back. You could go into hospice and come out of hospice.
Yes, you can.
And I was there to just relax her body. Well, quote unquote, do Reiki for her, but people in office wanted me to see where she was at in her timeline.
Yeah.
And kind of give them some insight on that because they didn't know what to do. Push her with some meds and kind of like help her through that transition or just kind of be patient.
Right.
Right? Because everyone's at this point and the family is kind of like, oh my God, you got to be here. Like,
Yeah.
mama's going, grandma's leaving. Like,
Yeah.
where you at? Everyone's panicking. Or do they have time to kind of like be at ease and buy that plane ticket, go get some dinner, or do we got to be in the room now?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening whenever you went?
Okay, you guys want to know the story now? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a good. I'm just telling you now. It's a good one. Like, hold on, it's a good one.
And there's so many.
I was sitting
stories
right
like
where
this.
George is, and my jaw was on the floor. I was like, wait, hold up, for real? I was like, damn. Sorry, I won't interrupt you anymore.
No, it's okay. I mean, there's so many pretty cool fucking stories, but since you heard this one, I'll tell this one. So went in there and I was like, okay, well, on the way to the client's house, being a channeler naturally, I can feel things in advance.
Yes.
It's a blessing and a damn curse, you know? And I try not to understand it. So on the way there, I'm feeling some things and I'm like, ooh, well, I could feel my chest being so kind of hollow in my breathing and it's heavy. And I'm like, oh, she dying, you know?
Yeah.
But I try not to think of it, try to control, alt, delete my head, get there. The son opens the door and I realize, oh, there's a lot of everything I was feeling was also him. So I know now, okay, I'm here to give him a session, but at the same time, where's the mom at? You know? Went into the room, the mom was there. And I told him how it works, but him also understanding who I was a little bit prior to going there. I was like, okay, I could do this in all the many ways, but now that I know that it's you, would you like me to give her Reiki and just kind of do the Reiki thing? Or do you want me to see where her soul's at and talk to her from the other side? And I was like, because she's here, I get that, but half of her is already on the other side.
Yes.
So do you want me to see what's up? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, before I touch bases with her, then, because to read deeper, I got to touch the body, but I also can read beyond touching the body, right?
You did it to me the other day, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh, your back pain?
Yeah, she was like, why is your back in pain? And I'm like, what, excuse you?
I was like, you're hurting my back. Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. So I told him, okay, so on the way here, I was hearing her already. She's still here. She's still breathing, but parts of her over there. And I was hearing that she wants to go, but she's worried about you. So what's holding her here was her son's worries and concerns and just all of his human fucking icky emotions.
Yeah.
It was like tethered to her. And she was just like, I really want to go. But then, of course, her wanting to go, why aren't you going?
Right.
Right? Soul body wise, why aren't you going? But your body is still right here. It looks like you're ready to go. So that's why they're like, so what is it? Like, what's up, rah, rah? So connected with her body. And I do this thing where I multidimensionally work. And I call on the name of the person. And they start to show up in a different place. And her ass was gardening.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She was gardening.
She was gardening?
Yeah. And I, let's just call her Stacy. Okay. So I was like, Stacy. And I'm like in that world with her. And she has that, I think it's a hoe.
Yeah, like a hoe or like...
Kind of like a hoe, but the one with the pointy thing at the
Yeah,
end.
like she's... Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was just almost like making a hole. And I was like, Stacy, can you stop? And she's like, no. And then I was like, oh, but the point of me multidimensionally looking in this other place is to see what they're doing inside. All of these places that I can see within the body is affecting the outside body, right? So while I'm reading her hoeing the garden, I was like, okay, I could see, first of all, she's avoiding this conversation.
Yes.
So ding right there.
Right.
One emotion is avoiding.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm confused because you wanted to go, and now all of a sudden this version of you inside looks like she's avoiding the damn topic of the reality. And I was like, okay, she's not really going to listen to me. So I was like, I have a plan B. I opened my eyes and her son was like to the left of me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to need your help because what I'm seeing is that she's avoiding something inside. And that avoidance is making her suffer, hence her physical body suffer, right? So I call her son. I was like, okay, hold her hand. So I get him to connect to her. And then I hold his shoulder. And I was like, okay, I'm going to bring your spirit into her body and we're going to communicate in this same world. And very multidimensional here. So I closed my eyes, connected with her again, held her shoulder while I'm holding his shoulder. And I kind of just wait for this energetic integration until I see his spirit body pop up in that world. And then she sees his ass pop up before I do. And she goes, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, she doesn't like this. And then he was like, Mom. But he's quiet right here. But he's like, Mom, you got to listen to her. Because we're kind of, while we're talking in there too, we're also telepathically talking. Like, so many things are happening at the same time. And I was like, yeah, you kind of got to listen to me because we're just trying to help you.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, so I have your son here and he's okay. You know, I was like, you got to look at him. And I was like, look at him. She puts the hoe down and she's just like, what? Like, why did you come here? And then I kind of interfere through their little conversation that I couldn't really hear. I just knew their mouths were moving. And I was like, you need to relax. As in, he's trying to take care of you, but you're not letting him. And I was like, you don't even understand what you're doing to your body and you need help right now. And she was just like, what's wrong with my body? And I was just like, you're suffering. And I was like, and we're just trying to help you because we know that you're hurting somewhere. I was like, so you have to just stop avoiding whatever you think you're avoiding because we're all just here to help you. And transitions happen very quick in time and space because it's very much an illusion. And she goes, okay, fine. And then next thing you know, there was no more garden and she's walking to a dinner table and I'm like, okay, cool. She's accepting whatever we need her to accept, but she's kind of still a little like annoyed about it.
Sassy.
Yeah, she's sassy about it. And I was like, okay, well, just me being me in that world. I was like, well, okay, well then let's kind of like have a party. Like while you're here, let's just kind of hang out. And I don't know, what do you want to do? And she was like, can we just have a nice dinner? And I was like, okay, dinner.
Sis was so irritated.
Yeah. And I was like,
So
okay.
bothered by you being there.
Yeah, she was like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But I was like, okay, dinner it is. And then next thing you know, boom, a dinner table, kind of like this pops up, but it's like smaller. And her son's like, okay, I'm going to make you this, like all your favorite things. He's just nurturing her in that world now. And she sits, and then I pull up a chair and I sit, and we're just kind of sitting in front of each other. And I kind of wait for her body to get to this different energetic place. And I go, okay, Stacy. And she goes, yes. And I go, you know what's next. And she goes, mm-hmm. And I go, so you have to choose.
Yeah.
And she goes, what do I need to choose? And I go, you need to choose a day to go. And time and space, again, is an illusion up there. And right when I told her you need to choose a day to go, she goes, 28. Like with that face and all. Yeah, she goes, 28. And I was like, 28? And then I was like, okay, well, she's in a good place. She did all that she needed to do in here. I feel that she's going to allow herself to stay in that energetic position. I opened my eyes. I told the son, okay, you could let go now. Like, go sit the fuck down because we're about to talk about this.
Right.
And I told him everything. And he's like, that sounds exactly like her. That's exactly how she spoke. And I was like, did she garden? He's like, I don't really know, but maybe she did back then, right? Or maybe that's how she was finding peace in that world. And I told him about the number 28, but to keep it very broad. So fast forward the day when I was telling the story on my show, she passed that day.
Like right after you were done here?
Literally, when I left, I felt like that story wasn't leaving my body. So there's a reason why your body holds on to thoughts and things. So I messaged him and I was like, hey, I hope you're doing okay. How's mom doing? And he was like, oh, thank you, sweet girl, for connecting back, but mom passed. And then he goes, and I realized 28 is the day she was born. And I was like, oh, so that number, it wasn't the day she was going. It was just her confirming it was her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
She says this, and I'm just sitting there like,
Right.
and I'm engineering. I'm not even on the show. I'm just
You'll
recording.
give him a heart attack. You tell me something, I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, what? Because
Yeah. So her transitioning that next day, it's like, right? It's hard to tell though, because it's
Right.
like, I mean, to people outside, I'm like, damn, I fucking help her let go, and she died the next fucking day.
What did I do?
And I'm like, fuck.
Oh, this was the next day.
Yeah, it was the next
shit.
day. That's how I was telling the story, because it was all fresh
Right.
and new.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and then I realized, because I do a lot of volunteer work for this hospice company, because their model is to be holistic, and yeah, it's beautiful. And then I realized after like so many holistic patients, I'm like, yo, they're dying after, and I'm like, am I helping them
Right.
cross the fuck over?
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, damn, because helping people when they're alive is totally, I am helping them let go of things to be their most authentic, raw self. But then when it comes to people passing, they're holding on. I'm helping them let go so they can go.
Yeah.
What if they just slap you with like 30 homicide charges
Right,
or
it's
something? They're like, we can't explain this
don't
in
feel
court.
like a serial killer,
Not
sis.
gonna lie, I thought about that. The last hospice client I did, and I was like, maybe I should tell blah 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 at the office I shouldn't do this, because they're just gonna start dropping like
Yeah.
birds.
Well, death, like you said, is an illusion, right? And a lot of people, they hold on because they're worried about how is it going to
Yeah.
affect the people that are still here.
And it's crazy because I've learned from people who've died that why they hold on so long is because of the emotions of the people so worried. It's not even
Yes.
them. They're just trying to cater to the ones that are alive.
Yeah.
But they don't realize how they can't. But then the
Yeah.
people that are alive, like the family that's fighting, that's why they can't go. So a lot of times the dead people or the people that are crossing over, they're like, can you please tell them to stop crying?
Yeah.
But who are we to tell someone like, hey, she said stop crying
Right.
and they're grieving.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't tell me how to live.
Right. Don't tell me how to
You don't know what
grieve.
I just went through.
Right. Yeah. No. At my great grandmother's funeral, the guy got up on the podium and was like, you guys aren't crying for the person that is passing. You're crying because you're selfish.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to live life without them. They're at peace for the most part,
Yeah.
you know? And they tend to hold on for a long time. Like my grandmother, she was on hospice and in a vegetative state for like 6 years.
Wow.
And I hated it. I wanted her to cross, you know, but other people in my family didn't feel that way and kept her alive. So it's I feel like they only go whenever they know for sure, like, okay.
Yeah.
They-
The body's
they'll
so
be okay.
damn intelligent.
Yeah.
It's
it
beyond
is.
our comprehension.
For sure.
So I know we have a couple callers. Just one question. So she's been with me now on 2 investigations. I've done a handful of paranormal investigations now. And I feel like, granted, it's always been within like a few confines, but I always like offer up whenever I'm like getting the conversation going, like during a spirit box session or when she can attest to this too. When we start, I host paranormal tours out at the Pioneer, which is out in Good Springs, which is about 45 minutes from here. I always started off by thanking the entities there, because there's a few, because it's not my place.
Yeah,
They've been
for
there
sure.
for decades, if
Yeah.
not hundreds of years. But I always go, if there's something you want to tell us that's holding you here, do so. And I feel like, I don't know if they're like, they don't want to,
Yeah,
or if
like-
it's maybe beyond them, like maybe there's just something bigger holding them here.
And I wonder sometimes, why do people or spirits get stuck, you know? And
Yeah.
no one's been able to really
I just have that one theory.
answer the question. I feel like sometimes it is whenever like something really bad happens
Yeah.
in one spot, it kind of leaves an imprint.
Yeah.
But a lot of these spirits, I feel like it's like they got one foot in and one foot out, if that makes sense.
And they can go in and out.
yeah.
But I guess what I would say my answer is to that is voids can go so deep beyond the person's knowing. So it is basically that. Like when you're alive too, when you could tell someone like, dude, you got to stop being greedy. And they're like, I'm not greedy.
Right.
You know, they don't know. Like, they're just kind of missing that until they kind of grow into it. If they do, that's kind of the same thing with those ghosts, right? Because spirits and ghosts, it's very crisscrossy because I work with a lot of spirits. Me, I don't always fuck with ghosts.
Yeah.
You know, like ghosts there's different levels of all of these things. So they are stuck and they don't even understand it. But some at some point, I believe, could and can, but will it, right? And maybe the right person needs to come around to get them to understand that essence, because the knowing and communication, they don't understand that. It's the energetic essence that they do.
Right.
Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just straight up ask them, like, do you know that you're dead?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
I'll be back there in a few weeks, so
No.
maybe I'll just have to ask, and then Noah's going to get a call.
Yeah.
He ain't here with us no more.
Yeah, I don't understand, which that makes the most sense. I feel like it's like a thin little thing, like a little screen where it's between the living and the dead, and they could just come back and forth. And some people just don't understand, like, hey, you're kind of dead. You should move towards the light, whatever the case is. But I just wanted to know too, and that's an interesting question because nobody that's come on the show could tell us, or even put it into words as to
For example, like I could see and I could do a lot that's different, right? And I'm sure there's so many people too that can. I'm gonna just say this little short thing, but one of my friends bought a duplex house. But it was never a duplex before. It was one whole house.
And they
split it in the center. And I could sit in homes and I'm like in between everything that was there still. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like the people that were living here in like 1962 are still fucking living here.
Yeah.
And you renovated this whole house and I'm in the middle of their old kitchen.
Right.
And I'm watching everything like
I'm in the
the
bathroom.
middle.
Right. Yeah. And that's see, and the gift of sight is it's a gift and it's a curse because
I don't know if I could handle it.
that's what I said. I'm not there yet, but one thing that I didn't even tell you. So I was
She tells me everything, by the way.
Yeah, but this really freaked me out. So I went to sleep the other night and I had a dream about a childhood friend and we were playing in our childhood apartment complex. And it was very weird, the energy. So I'm like, I don't dream about this person. Like sometimes I'll have my dreams in the same spots, like high school, middle school, childhood, house, whatever. And my phone started ringing and it woke me up. And it was my mom, like, that said childhood friend's brother was killed in like a fiery car accident. And I'm like,
recently?
What? Yeah, this was a couple of days ago.
So
And
like a day or two before that dream?
No.
Oh.
I was sleeping, dreaming that I was playing with my childhood friend.
Right.
Now, mind you, there is an age gap between me and his brother. His
Okay.
brother was 26 years old. I'm in my 30s, so it was a
Oh, so he's like
gap.
closer to my age.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm dreaming that I'm playing with this kid, and we're both kids, and then I hear my phone ringing, and it wakes me up, and it's my mom, like, so-and-so's brother passed away in a fiery car accident. And it freaked me out so bad because I'm like, why would I dream about his brother, right? My friend, but his actual brother like passed. And it's so funny. Like whenever you have sight and you just keep suppressing it. And we talked about that on your show, like building yourself up to be at your highest self, because there's gifts that we don't even know we have or possess. But until you balance and get your shit together, you're not going to know it,
Yeah.
So I forgot to tell you that. That kind of freaked me out.
I thought we were friends, but I guess...
I thought we were too. I forgot. I just was like,
She's also been doing like 900 things in the last week, though, so I can't really blame her.
It's been really bad, y'all. I ain't even brought no new content out. I've been so
We're working on
busy.
it. It's right here. I'm telling you, the videos are right here. They'll be coming out.
It's coming.
It's definitely a blessing and a curse, though. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see, and now that we're connected,
Yeah, I
thanks,
know.
Austin,
Yes.
for you to evolve.
Well, I tried to
and-
get you guys connected because if you guys have been following us, when we did the paranormal investigation at our studio, the day before that is when she did her first show, and that's when I first
It was
had
coming
her on.
closer.
Yeah, and you brought in another woman who does she do Reiki as well?
Yeah, she's a Reiki student, but she also has hoodoo background
Okay,
and things
she
like that.
so if you guys remember that episode, which if you haven't seen it yet, go to any of our channels and go watch it. It's the haunted studio investigation. She was like, "There's something in the kitchen right now. I don't want to go back there," and I was like, On God? Like we're recording this tomorrow.
At
Sticky Boss.
Yes.
Yeah. This
But
was the day before we did our investigation.
I'm telling you, that studio, I used to run to the bathroom because I felt like I was always being watched.
And sure enough, the door opens on its own.
Yes.
It's in the video. It opens on its own.
Yes.
Light turns on and everything.
I used to hate being in the back because it always felt like I was being watched, and it was crazy.
Definitely being there was like this layer. You know how there was like that glass room
Mm-hmm.
place. Like after a certain room, before the next room, there was almost like this layer. Once you go in there, it's just all static.
Yes.
Is that okay? So is that why Christian talked to us in Studio A?
Yeah.
And then when we got into the back, it started getting a little more
It
hectic.
got very hectic when we went to the
Yeah,
back.
it's almost like it cuts in half, like in half the kitchen and then the back. Like with that room.
Damn,
that
Georgia
back.
Marvin was back there. No wonder why he did what he did.
You know what?
He's a part of the ecosystem.
Petty.
We have a couple of callers. I want to get to some more stories, but let's get to some callers first. George, who do we have? By the way, do we have any of these people left from last week or the week before? Probably not, right? I think at this point it's been.
I'm
2
going to
weeks.
go in order for today.
Okay.
It's my apologies on the last one, but our first caller is going to be 1786.
1786.
It'll be *6 to unmute yourself. One seven eight
there they
six.
are.
Caller, you're in the room.
Hello.
Oh, caller, give me 1 second.
You had background music, caller. We're fixing that right now. Could you imagine George just has like walkout songs for callers?
Oh, I promise you, that's one. It's the evolution of this show.
Our bad.
ladies and
Once we start
gentlemen.
getting these callers in more regularly, we're gonna have like
bump,
I don't know, like we'll have like some old timey music for our little man,
Yes.
little reincarnated man.
Caller,
This is
we can
super
hear you.
fun. Thanks for having me. guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Caller.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Can you hear me clear?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
We can.
Awesome. Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. It's a really short story, but it is very vivid in my mind. At this big age, I am 42 years old. This actually happened when I was 5.
Wow.
I was in bed, and my bedroom was maybe about 15 feet from the bathroom. It was like a straight hallway. And laying in my bed, I could see the bathtub and like the shower curtain. Well, this one particular night, the shower curtain was open, and I can see what appeared to be a little boy get out of the bathtub and start walking down the hall towards my room. Clearly freaked me out, screaming to the top of my lungs. My parents come and they tried to convince me I was having a bad dream. I knew at 5, I was not dreaming. I was wide awake. Fast forward 10 years later in life, I'm at my auntie's home, my mom's sister, and I see a picture of this little boy. And I asked my auntie, and I said, who is this child? And she became very emotional, and she ended up telling me it was my cousin. He had passed away when he was 7 before I had been born. He drowned. I never knew that.
Oh, my goodness.
And I told them, this is the little boy that I seen. And I remember my aunt telling me when I had the experience, I'm assuming my mom shared it with her. And she asked my mom, did she tell me? And she's like, of course not. She's 5. I wouldn't have told her that. But it made me feel good in that moment to know that I wasn't freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And that I did see what I seen. But it's kind of traumatized me. I mean, I'm a little bit more spiritually connected now. But I still have this fear of going to sleep with the door open because I always feel like somebody's standing there watching me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah.
Same, sis. You don't have to answer this, but you have a Pittsburgh accent. Are you from PGH?
I am. Listen, I know you guys are Steelers fans, so I know we screwed up this year, but
Oh,
yes,
my
I
goodness.
am from Pittsburgh.
Okay, yes.
Wow, that
No,
is
my
so
husband's from
awesome.
Pittsburgh.
I was just saying, you know that because Mr. Fresh probably would have sniffed that out.
Yes, I
10
heard
minutes
it.
ago.
It's the first 3 words she said, but yeah, I would have been
Oh my
scared
God! Shout out to
too.
your hubby.
You have that Pittsburgh twang. I heard it, but I would have been freaked out too. And it sucks because sometimes it's like it's the lesser of two evils. Obviously, you were 5 years old, and your parents didn't want to freak you out,
Right.
but it kind of low key traumatized you. Even to this day, like I've seen stuff that scared me at 5, where I'm like, I still sleep with a light on. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
scared, you
Right.
know? So, but thank you
I
so
get
much
it.
for sharing.
I mean, at this point in life, I just thank you so much. I wish that I could be a little bit more connected with some of my relatives. I recently lost my dad, and I'm like, I wish he would
I'm
just come
sorry.
through and see me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'll be willing. Thank you, but I'll be willing to freak out to see Dad. You know, I think that would be. But thank you guys so much. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I really appreciate you letting me share.
Thank
you for
sharing.
calling.
Absolutely. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank
You
you
too.
as well. Shout out
All right, bye-bye.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I almost said Philly, but I was going to get jumped.
Hey,
Yes.
PA, I'll take PA either way.
Right.
Thanks again.
Have a
a
good
great
one.
night.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I with those accents, I can pretty much.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they had an accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Jay slips out every once in a while because he's from Philly,
Yeah.
and it'll slip out, and I'm like, is that Bam Margera?
What does it sound like? Say, like
Do you know Bam
try to-
Margera from Jackass?
Yeah.
That's a Pittsburgh
okay.
or
I guess I
a
gotta-
Philly
Yeah.
accent.
I feel like that's
Pennsylvania
like
accent.
Yeah. And then and it's so crazy because black people in Philly have a totally different accent.
Oh,
but
it's
you
like-
could tell both of like
Oh.
they say something a little bit different. And then I don't know. I
Saw
can
it,
tell if
dude.
you're from California or like Florida. We all have like these
Where are
different
you
accents.
from?
California.
Okay.
Yeah, like we have these different dialects. Even like Northern Californians
Mm-hmm.
sound different than Southern Californians.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Southern California.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. When I lived in Texas, they're like, "You're from like LA, huh?" And I was like, "How the hell do you know that?"
How did you know? Yeah.
No, I literally, when I went to school back east, they were like, "You sound really Valley," and I'm like,
Really Valley.
Valley.
That was a nice way because I
Is
went
that-
to a
is-
historically black college. That was the nice way of saying it. They was like, "You sound like a white girl," and I was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, I mean, I don't know. It's just an accent."
George, has Junior developed an accent yet?
Oh yeah, I mean, come on now.
Oh,
Being
So
in
his brother
Arkansas-
started playing. He's been in Arkansas.
Wee pig. Come on.
It's country, but I know a Pittsburgh accent. She sounds just like my mother-in-law. They all it sounds
that's-
all the same. And my aunt that lives here, my aunt-in-law. So
With
I picked
Bam
it up.
Margera or whatever from Jackass, I always thought it was just his lisp. So
No.
but when I'm
Well, it probably
replaying-
doesn't help, but
yeah,
Yeah.
replaying his voice in my head, I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yep, and then even
well, I don't know if
Boston.
he's Pittsburgh, but he's for
It's-
sure
it's-
Pennsylvania.
it's-
Okay.
Yeah,
Philly, right?
It's like more like
pretty much.
Worcester.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Really good metal bands come out of Pennsylvania. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, you got some heavy.
Worcestershire is Massachusetts.
So if y'all,
And the
So it's
sauce.
Pennsylvania and isn't that like the tri-state area? What's the tri-state
Mandela
area?
said Pittsburgh.
Bro,
People don't like
the
each
only
other.
reason I'm able to correct you on it is because I know there's a Massachusetts one. Is there a Worcester?
While we look
Pennsylvania?
up that, y'all drop in the comments, where are you
You're right,
watching,
George.
listening from, please?
Yeah.
And make sure that you guys like the live. I know you
Another
think the heart
victory
is the
for
like
the
because that's
OGs.
the way it is on every other app, but it's actually a thumbs up. Please give this video a thumbs up so that we can get on the YouTube algorithm's main page. Mr. Fresh is like, Philly is not Pittsburgh. Quit playing, yo. He said we don't even mess with them like that. This is funny, but I
That's
think
like
we-
everybody from Nevada is from Vegas. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know because Pittsburgh is big and so is Philly, and they sound totally different. Philly is like a Pittsburgh accent and a New York accent had a baby.
Is Philly closer to New York? Is like Philly more East Coast or East side of Pennsylvania, and then like Pittsburgh is more
Kinda. I
west?
don't really know, but I know that like we're I
Mr.
was
Fresh is
living
probably
in-
steaming right now. He's
Yeah.
probably hella mad at me.
No, I lived in
Caller?
Columbus, and Pittsburgh is only
do-
2 hours
no.
away.
I was like, oh, did George bring one
I'm
in?
telling him to call in.
But yeah, let's get on to the next caller because we got
Enough about
We
dialects.
will literally speak Japanese for the rest of the show.
Yeah, let's see what the next
I
story
ain't got
Our
is.
no
next
accent.
caller is going to be.
Yes, you do.
From Vegas?
Yeah.
What's the accent
Ooh.
here?
Oh.
Badass? Wouldn't
It's
George and I
douche.
have an accent?
Next caller is going to
Accent
be
is
last
douche.
four digits
It's
1448.
George, we have an accent. Danette would probably have one too. Danette's born and raised here too.
Oh, we like the Ness. She doesn't have the douchey accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That's
douchey
just-
accent. What's the
that's just a
douchey?
joke.
That's a Cheyenne High School, Swainson Middle School
Oh, God.
accent. That's not
I'm
no.
from the Valley High School then, because I'm from Coronado. That's
yeah.
all I heard there.
yeah.
Oh my God.
What?
While we're waiting
Just
for this
a valley
caller.
girl.
Fight.
No, so I have a client who is very well off. He's a mortgage lender. And so Brandon from Vegas is the show. And so he went to Coronado High School. And so he's like, yeah, I went to Coronado. And then another guest was like, yeah, Coronado. And they're like, the old white man who's actually rich was like, oh, my wife's at Coronado right now. No. Your wife's at Coronado Island in San Diego.
in
Like,
San
that's
Diego.
rich people. No, we just went to Coronado High School.
Caller, you're in the room.
Hey, Kala.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Hi, Noah. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't think I have an accent, but I'm calling in from Gary, Indiana.
Hey.
you
I
do.
like it.
And hey. And I just want to share my mom's story. Actually, it's my grandmother, my mom, my cousins, and myself. I've all had experiences, and my grandmother used to call it, the spirit told me whenever she would get, I always thought it was something, I knew it was something spiritual, but she would know things. But the story that sticks out best to me is my mother. She would see things from a distance. Like, she had lots of stories. Her boyfriend that before I was born, she dated this guy, and he passed away, and she was just very, very sad, just really, really sad, and just cried every night. And she told me, and this is her telling me as I was a child, that he would come to her after he died. He would come to her and sit on the edge of her bed in spirit form and told her to stop crying, and he wouldn't leave until she stopped crying. She just would like sob every night. And he told her what to do, to call his people down in Texas to let them know that he had passed on and what to do. And he just comforted her until she just, till the tears stopped. And I believed her. I didn't never not believe her, but it just became extra real for me. Well, another story with her was that she had another boyfriend that was in Omaha at one point, and she was at work in Chicago, and she said he was sitting at her desk and she could see him getting on the airplane at Eppley Airfield in Omaha while she was at work in Chicago. She saw him going to get on the airplane, and she called her cousin, and she was like, well, where is Duncan? And she was like, he just got on a plane to leave. And she could see this from where she was. And I was like, wow, Mommy, that's just wild. But then, I never really thought anything of it till I got married, and I would have dreams about my husband and things he was doing. Like, I was in the room there with him, just like standing there with him. And he swore up and down that I was either there or knew somebody there that told him the events of where he was doing the things that he was doing. So it's just all very, I love your show. I don't know what else to say.
Listen, no, and it's so crazy because
because
you said something very interesting in the beginning, and this is very hoodoo coded, very black coded, Southern Midwestern coded. Whenever somebody's granny or their mom were mediums or psychics, they didn't call themselves that. They'd be like, I just know things, or I had a dream, or whatever. Like, they never
spoke to me.
Right. Some spirit told me type of thing. Like, they never put labels on it. And I feel like there was somebody else that had that same experience, but except the lady's husband was cheating. It was on my TikTok. She said that her grandmother was showing her that her husband was no good for her, and she was astral projecting, and her grandmother was taking her where he was.
Oh, no.
And was like, do you see him doing that? Do you see what he's doing to you? And then she would wake up and describe every single thing in just so good description. He swore up and down she had cameras.
That's
and
what I'm
all
saying.
that
He's probably
other
like,
stuff.
I left my phone in the other room.
No.
She ain't not going to see it this time.
She
And
said
she was
she
like,
was-
you coughed 8 times exactly.
Oh my God.
She literally
The
said her
specifics.
grandmother was making her astral project because she was so in love with this man and she knew he wasn't shit. But nonetheless, she was just like, I gotta show you. And they were astral projecting every night, and it was crazy. I hope that wasn't that's not what you figured out. But
that sure the heck was what was going on. That's what was going on. And he was sitting, and I was standing. It was crazy as heck because I was standing right there. He was sitting on the couch with the girl, and I'm standing there. I'm like, what are you doing? Get up. And he couldn't hear me. It was like nobody was listening to me.
but I was standing there watching. And he came home and he told me, "Oh, you crazy, and turned around, sure enough. That's what was going on. And then my daughter, I know it's a family gift because my daughter, her little boyfriend, she told him how he came about to have a hickey on his neck that she didn't give him, very young. And he was like, "Who you been talking to?" Blah blah blah. She's like, "You was in the basement, yappity yapping and everything." And she ran it down to him exactly how it happened and where he was, who was there, the females and everything.
That's
So,
a damn shame.
I mean, how do you? I just hope I can find somebody like your husband who can accept your gift.
Man, he ain't got no choice because
Could you
they're not
imagine?
going nowhere.
Could you imagine running it down?
Yes.
First you did doggy, then you
Yeah,
did,
that-
then it was
but-
cowgirl,
Yeah.
then you like spat on her. What
And
the
then,
fuck? Like,
Oh
this
my
is
God.
the thing. They don't believe until you are telling them. And listen,
Great
this is what you
detail.
just tell them. The next person that you meet, you tell them, "I'm a psychic." So you can try to do some slick shit if you want to. It's never gonna work with me. I'm going to find out. I'm gonna have a dream.
Boy, there
be
you know.
transparent
I
so
know.
they could just weed the ones out. Because the one that's gonna accept it ain't gonna play with you, but the other one's gonna think you crazy, and they're gonna fuck around and find out that you really are just
Well,
that
they
girl.
do. They do.
Yeah.
'Cause what-
Hey, and caller,
My-
got a little something to tell you though. While you're talking, I could just feel all of these shifts that are like going in my body because you were just so gifted. And your mom, her heartbreak came through a little bit, and she was like, she still aches for that man.
Yeah.
But she's happy.
She does.
You could feel it, but it's all love. You know, it just sucks when the separation is there, but then when they all get to the same place, they're just reunited again. But your heart or your head you're elevating, like, again. I don't know if you know that or if you could see the differences in your life, but it's gonna get easier, as in like the beauty through these gifts are just gonna kind of show itself to you. So just accept it, whatever that looks like for you.
Oh,
See?
thank you.
She be reading.
Thank you.
That's
Why
what she
she
did to
know
me
her?
earlier.
Why
she doesn't warn you.
It feels
Aw.
like this floaty feeling, literally like that sound. That's just what it feels like on your body.
no warning,
I
by the
can
way.
feel
Coming.
it tingling, and I love watching you guys. It really helps me through, and it helps me know I'm not alone, and put pieces together that are missing from what's going on in my life. And I appreciate you sharing that with me. Thank you guys so very much.
Well, thank you for
Absolutely.
calling.
Thank you for calling. That was beautiful.
Yeah, great story.
I hope one day I get to that level of I'm just talking to somebody and I'll be like, you know what? Actually, which whenever I'm doing tarot readings, it's like that.
Yeah.
But I turn it off. Like as soon as I'm done with the reading, like I put that veil back down.
She does it to me all the time.
Why is he
There was okay. So
No, she doesn't turn it
when
off.
shit was going down at the last studio, I hadn't texted her in like a month, and she texted. She goes, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about?" And then,
Yes.
but she knew, and sure enough, like
I'm like, you need a reading.
she dragged me once. She's the only person who's allowed to read me, I think, except for one other person. But yeah, no, I don't. I haven't taken her up on it because I'm like, I'm not ready
Yeah.
to be
Other
dragged.
than me and pulling your back pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That day, I was like, why didn't I pick up that pattern? Because
Yes.
we were just talking on my show how I pick up patterns real
Right.
quick because I know when it's mine and not mine. I got a massage that day, and I
Thinking
came
of-
here and I was like, dang.
Oh,
telling
it was
him,
before.
Yeah, before,
Yeah.
because the days when I'm going into something, I'll start picking it up. But I think it's me sometimes when I'm not thinking about where I'm going. I'm trying to be present. And then he reminds me by going, oh, my back today. And I'm like, oh,
Well, it's my back every day from the car
and I was
accident.
like,
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
a massage. No wonder I still have it. That massage didn't work because it
Why, I
wasn't
texted
really
her
on.
right
you.
after. I go, my Reiki client just dragged me, and she goes, she just sends like the eye emojis, like,
Yep.
what you mean?
Yeah. Yep. It's amazing. Like, and that's why, and I haven't even told them, but you know, I'm doing a Reiki master class, or at least trying to. I'm starting off with Reiki 1 as usual. And it was just such an honor to pick your brain because Reiki doesn't look like the same for everybody. Like
Yeah.
some of us people that are spiritual are mediums, you know, and that do Reiki. And a lot of you guys have seen Reiki if you follow me, especially because, you know, when Big Mama lays hands and prays for you and moves energy and all that other stuff, that is
Man,
the
no, you
source.
sound just as good on the phone
Why did
as
you
you
let
sound
him
in real
through?
life.
That's
Oh,
Mr.
this
Fresh.
is-
That's the missing.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Oh my
You thought it was some
gosh.
creeper just being like, man,
I'm
you
just
sound,
like, he
which we
likes
have
you.
had a couple of times.
That is the fourth. That's the fourth member of our
Yes.
our
The
band.
fourth amigo?
The fourth amigo, Mr. Fresh is in
What's
the
going on,
building.
beautiful people?
And
Hello.
we miss you.
Mr. Fresh. It's like you're right here with us.
Oh, and my boyfriend's in the chat. I thought it
Aw.
was his back hurting.
The love is in
Oh,
the air.
that's super dope. Hey, Noah, I wanted to say that, she reminds me so much of an Asian version of Britney. It's crazy.
Oh my God,
Oh.
you do.
Britney Spears?
Send me a photo. I
No,
wanna see.
you do.
Yeah?
It's a girl. I'm gonna show you after
She
the
better
show.
be cute, 'cause-
She is. She's very.
Like even her mannerisms, like the
Yes.
way that she sits on the
And
chair and,
she ain't
everything. Like,
Asian.
it's
She's a
crazy.
Filipina.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
don't
don't
be
even know
doing
I take
her.
off my shoes to sit here.
I thought they considered themselves Asian.
Well, yeah,
they're
they
not
do.
Chinese, right?
Right? No.
We're
no,
a
they're
lot
not.
Fresh.
of
What are you
weird
talking about?
shit, you know?
I'm sorry. Hey, salamat po to all of my Filipinas and Filipinos.
Yeah, one of my Filipino roots come from Austronesian, you know? So
Oh
it's
my
like,
gosh, I don't even know what that is.
Oh wow.
it's some island. It's where we get like, I don't know, it goes far, but we have like Austronesian, the Negritos, and then we have the Malaysians.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of a bunch. So who is Filipinos really? It's fucking hard to say.
Right. And when
What are they?
I went down there and I didn't realize when they were speaking tag, it sounded like Spanish. Some of it was in Spanish, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's a
so
mix.
am I
Because
lawyer?
of conquered.
Yeah,
by
he
the-
was like,
by
we've been
Spaniards.
colonized so many goddamn times. Like we speak
Those
like a
Hodgepodge of everything.
yes, and so
Yeah.
it was a little
Yeah,
bit
they were
easier.
under Spanish rule for over 200 years.
Yeah, and probably even longer than
Like
that.
they have Spanish statues in like
Yeah.
random
Yeah.
cities.
Yeah, like my
you-
last name is Rivera.
Well, that's always the joke,
Yeah.
right? It's like Filipinos. It's like
Yeah.
you can throw them off because they'll have like Alvarez
Yes,
or Rivera
yeah.
or Garcia or Gomez.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, it's just amazing. I didn't even know when we were having our conversation earlier. You're like, it's a lot of like shamans. It's a lot of spirituality. And my assistant was
Yeah.
telling me that like it is a lot of spiritual shit in the Philippines. It's super haunted. I loved it.
Oh yeah, we got some weird myths, but bitch, that shit ain't a myth.
What's the one with the lady?
I work with these duendes, which
Oh,
look like,
yes.
which they come from the Spanish, and I guess we
Yes.
have them. I don't know if they
The
do.
little
yes,
people.
them little.
Yeah,
I
the
did a
little
video on them.
dwarves.
Yeah,
You
I
got
did
a video on
No,
them?
I did a video, so it's a compilation.
She was like, I need to see
I was
that.
like, oh, that's not as. But
Let me
I
see
did
that
cover
ugly
them
fucker in person.
Yeah, yes, but the Duendes, they are they're in the Philippines, they're in Mexico.
Yeah.
You know,
One of them broke my garage.
What?
Do you have it
Yeah.
on camera?
No, but it was following me from a session, and then I was trying to rush in because I felt like that feeling
Yeah,
when I'm like,
where you gotta
oh, I
run."
gotta
Yeah.
go, but trying to not be like scared. But I rushed in the house, hit the garage and close the door, and then all I hear is do-do-do-do.
What the?
And then I was
hell?
like, fuck, what
shooting.
is that? So I
See-
opened the garage and then the garage was broken. And then I told my dad, because I was at their house at that time. And I told my mom when they're like, what happened? No more coming through the garage. And I'm like, Mom, the
Yeah.
duende got squished. I was like, there was a duende that was following me. And she's like, what are you doing with fucking duendes?
I'm trying out something new. Mom,
You never support me.
You
It's
never
not a
like my
phase.
friends.
Well, and then she started telling me a story. She's like, you see duendes?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And then she started telling me how there was a girl at her old school in elementary that they used to not hang out with her, talk to her because she had duende friends.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't talk.
Yeah,
don't
they're
fuck
like,
with her.
don't mess with her. Yeah, they're very mischievous and
But a little
and mean.
Yeah, they're mean.
Yeah,
they're
they
rude.
are.
And they look ugly. They look like they haven't taken showers in a while.
Yes.
If you can see them.
and they like to fuck with
But
your kids
a
too.
trick though to put them to bed, they fall asleep to lullabies.
Yes, they do. I put that in my my video
Really?
too. Yeah, I made a whole compilation.
Wow, I
We
need to
love
watch
doing
that.
this. I gotta pick your brain and see if you know of other spiritual creatures because I'm trying to venture out of just the United States because it seems like some of these mythical folklore creatures, they're not just staying where they're supposed to be
Yeah.
at. They're here in America and everything else. And I know like you be having a time, girl. You have to have because you're medium, you have the gift of sight, and that's not just for spirit.
Yeah.
It's for everything around you.
I wouldn't believe in this stuff if I didn't deal with them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Very,
I was
very
like,
much so.
fairies, what? Okay.
The
Right,
Fae?
the Fae, what? And then it's like I have a video on them too. It's very much so. Yeah, it's interesting, but wait until I don't know if you've ever heard about this, the vampires and werewolves in New Orleans.
Oh no!
Well, honestly, at this point, what isn't in New Orleans?
Right?
Yeah. No, like the
Besides,
locals are like.
besides the Super Bowl team, because they're not.
Ooh,
happening
do
right
we
now.
have any Mayfair Witches fans here?
Yeah,
Because I've been on that every
Yes.
Sunday. I'm like,
Listen,
I can't come
I've heard
soon
of it. I
enough.
haven't watched it yet.
Mayfield?
Mayfair Witches.
Yes.
What is
Mayfair?
Mayfair?
Mayfair, it's a show. I have never watched it though.
Mayfair. Hold on,
But-
Yeah, the Mayfair Witches. It's on right now, and that when people have dark energy connected to them, it's a witch family, and they're a mixture of like.
Girl, this is just
black-
Charmed with extra steps.
No, it's different.
She said
it's cooler, and
different.
it's from New Orleans too.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
or it's based out of there.
Yeah, like
the
What
fans-
Oscar's not realizing is they put the stuff right in our face. for you to
yes.
see.
Yeah.
Where do you think American Horror
Like,
Story was
think
called?
about
Yeah,
the
Mr.
election the
Fresh.
other day where he was doing the Nazi salute. Like everything
Elon?
is in your face. It's whether you decide to take it serious or not.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean? Like these shows, they're not really shows.
Yeah.
They're really based off of real life situations, but they put it in a theatrical point of
Way,
view where you would think that it's just a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
for
when
sure.
I
Like,
watch Doctor
look at,
Strange, I'm like,
Doctor Strange. I said, wait a minute.
I'd be doing that on
I
Saturdays.
played this game before.
I played this game before.
I played these games before.
yeah.
I've already unlocked this level. I've been here
Right.
before.
No, like quantum jumping dimensions. Like we talk about that a lot, especially like on my Patreon. That is a manifestation technique. And I learned today, like your healing is like several different dimensions of healing.
Yeah.
It's not just one. So when I seen Doctor Strange, when I seen American Gods, American Horror Story, and even Princess and the Frog, because they went to New Orleans for like 6 months to just study the culture. Even though they got some of it wrong, it still is based on true voodoo characters. Like have you seen?
Yeah,
it
because
before, right?
look at
Yeah.
American
Princess
Horror
and the
Frog's my
Story. Like
favorite.
that was crazy.
Like the Shadow Man is Baron Samedi, which is a voodoo spirit, and he's like he lives at the cemetery, and that's where he pretty much ended whenever he couldn't pay his debts. But
Yeah.
everything is just
There's a
Yeah.
Disney movie also. Disney does a lot with that
Yeah.
too. There's a Disney movie also when they pass away. It's a spirit one. What is
Coco?
that? No, Coco's a good one.
Coco,
no,
that's
there's
my
another one. They
favorite
did
one.
jazz in it.
Soul.
Soul.
Soul,
That was a really
yes,
good one.
Soul.
Jamie Foxx ate on that
Soul,
movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
because
like, what?
That
Yeah.
it's real, and that's. I'm telling you, these are classified documents somewhere that the CIA didn't put up and it expired. They have to of NDE. That's all that is. Near death experiences, what they reported whenever
You
they
said ND?
NDE.
Oh,
NDE.
ND. I was like,
Yeah.
ND
Yeah,
for me is
ND.
negligent discharge. Like, it's a different thing.
No, but like people coming back and reporting what they saw whenever
Right.
they almost passed.
Yeah.
So it's like, I even though I don't like, I take things for a grain of salt. I also pay attention and do my own research and learn like where did this come from.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah,
You have to because it's in your face. Like I know there was a one movie. I know it was a wild type Christian movie where it was like a little girl or something. Like I don't know if she died. I can't remember the specifics, but like either she died or somebody around her died. And like she was seeing a white light and like she was talking to God and all types of like
I
these are
forgot
all
what
the
it
near death
was.
experiences that I forgot what the movie was called, but I
if
remember
y'all
the
know
movie.
what it is
And
in
it
the
was-
comments because they usually finish it.
Oh, yeah. They always go, oh, is
know.
this?
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like everything that we discuss within movies, please remember movies, TV shows, they do the research first.
Yeah.
They do the research first.
So there's one movie that I'm like, okay, this is also real, right? We're talking about Disney stuff. Let's get a little darker, bitch. The Ring.
Oh yeah.
How right? The concept of it is real to an extent
Yeah.
because I be working with some dark things too to help
Yes.
them get to shine some light in these shadows. And how they watched The Ring, and then every time someone watches it, they end up dying.
Yes.
Right. But have you guys ever heard of the death frequency?
The,
That if you
that
listen-
sounds so familiar. The death.
No.
Yeah, if you listen to this long enough, basically they say you can die.
Oh, it says it's JoJo Siwa's album.
what?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I thought you were serious.
She's all doing weird
Oh,
dances
okay,
to
right.
death frequency.
So like how we have whenever we're trying to
Healing
get on the
frequency.
yeah, like sound
See,
frequency.
all I'm getting is like the frequency of deaths, like at a rate of which people die.
Oh.
do the sound of
sound.
death.
Frequency sound.
No, but I believe that though.
Yeah. Because there's people that I've worked with that have
the death
very
frequency, yeah.
dark energy, and it just by them texting, it will manifest into my environment in different ways. But you have to be very aware of knowing how that's pulling over.
Yeah.
So recently I helped someone and she's going through a dark attachment from someone that she's connected to. Hence already it's skipping and connecting. And I saw this shadow figure go into my son's bathroom and I was like, oh, hell no.
Right.
We got to start clearing, closing because I was
right.
home alone too this weekend.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, every time I'm home alone, it can't just be nice and like.
Bitch can't
so it
never
says
just relax.
It says
We always
it's at
got
a
something on us.
frequency of 19 hertz, which is considered to be below the human hearing threshold and can supposedly induce feelings of unease, fear, and even panic, sometimes referred to as the fear frequency or ghost frequency.
So do you have them listen to this if they have an attachment, or you don't?
No,
hell
it
no,
comes
that-
up. It comes up
whenever you
Yeah,
play.
so the death frequency, I've experienced it when I was younger, being in a dark energy environment just from parents arguing. So if you argue in your household, please do that shit outside because
Yeah.
what it does to children in that
Yeah.
environment, you
Yeah.
never know. But it used to feel like something was sewing me up. Like imagine if you just had a needle coming in and out. It's like that metal screechy feeling.
Yeah.
But in your body and on your skin, it's really interesting and it very is.
Damn, trigger
much
warning next time, dog. You're just
Right.
making me feel something over here.
Uneasy.
Shit. Like, no, I'm over here locked in. Like, this is a movie, and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, what would you recommend for someone who, like, okay, what frequency would you like? I think it's called hertz.
Yeah, hurts.
If you're trying to get rid of an attachment.
I'd say the God frequency, hence God not as the person, just that bliss, that
Yeah.
The
nirvana.
divine.
Yeah.
So it's the 963 hertz, the God conscious frequency breaks through all evils kind of thing. So
I love listening to frequency, especially at night. I bought this cool eye mask that has the headphones attached
Yeah.
in them. I never
Ooh,
wake up
vibe.
with them. I always
but the
roll
frequency
around.
also will depend on your body's capacity of where it's at, right? Because someone might be starting at a theta or like wherever you are, everyone might be different.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited because I get to kind of dive a little bit further into the world because the class that I'm taking for Reiki, it does
Yeah.
mention, sound frequency, sound healing. But my favorite one, don't judge me, is the one for prosperity. I love it.
Yeah,
and
those
it
are also
always
good.
works.
We get
and I
our
love
money
to
up,
do
not
it.
a funny up.
Yeah, I will
good
literally on a
one.
full moon script
Money
quantum jump and then go to sleep with the prosperity frequency playing in my ear. So it works for me every time.
I have a question. So, because you briefly explained Reiki to me, like I know what you've been doing. I've been listening to you talk about it. So, is Reiki kind of like? All right, I don't want to compare it because one is totally different than the other, but they still kind of. I feel like they hold hands together. Is Reiki kind of like yoga and like centering yourself and like hitting certain points in your body type thing?
I'm gonna let you. I mean, that's not a bad guess. Actually, that's not a terrible guess.
I feel like that's part of it,
That's
right?
part of it, but I'm gonna let her because she explained to me some shit that I wasn't even thinking about. I was like, when she was telling me about Reiki and her experience, because she's not new to this. It's been over a decade now, right?
Yeah.
So
2013.
yeah. So when she was telling me, I literally said to her, am I disciplined for this? Am I mature enough? Because I'm a big ass adult kid. Like I'm still playing Super Mario at the crib.
Yeah.
So, but I'll let you explain like what exactly it is.
Boring definition of Reiki and what Reiki is, with all respects to Reiki, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that, because it really organized me to get to who I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Hence, keywords right there. Really organized me to get to my ultimate version of me, to do all that I do. But Reiki is a Japanese art form of healing. And what we do is we work through the main chakra systems, which there's a lot of chakras, but we work through the main ones, the main 7, the root all the way up to the crown chakra. And what we do is through Reiki, what Reiki is when you get attuned to it, you get attunement is almost like a ceremonial opening of your chakra system so that you can be connected to the source energy. And all of that, it's just based of love. right? Just that's what it is. So that is what Reiki is. And we utilize our hands to exchange this energy, as in our bodies receive that energy from that source, and source could be whatever you want to call it. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoever you believe in, I like the universe. I like that, just kind of seems like it's everything. Right. So that energy will come into our body and come out of our hands. It really could come out anywhere. Like you could just be here and your aura could just radiate just that Reiki energy and heal someone in front of you. But all the other things that I do, it was almost like Reiki allowed me to make those choices so that I can be in my highest version of me, to connect to those things. Or else if I was still my rebellion me, I'd be blocking the fuck out of just natural energy.
Yeah.
Right. So Reiki was just like that foundation, and it does a lot. It goes beyond. So when I describe myself to people, whether they're first timers on the table or when I'm telling them what I do or who I am, I say I'm a psychic medium channeler, but I work through the art of Reiki. Just because when you see all my content, I'm doing Reiki. So if I say like, I don't do Reiki, they'll be like, you're doing Reiki.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. Even like the titles of a psychic medium and channeler, they're all the same freaking thing.
Yeah, they are.
Like if anything, I'm just a channeler, and they'll be like, so what does a channeler do? So is that like a psychic? Whatever. You have all, you have like all the concepts with all those words now to have an idea. But then to truly know, you just got to experience.
Yeah.
And every
So
body
essentially,
body
Reiki is like your
different.
car. Like Reiki helps you get there.
Yeah. So when I tell people, when they're like, okay, so what's closed and how do I keep that open? Or when do I come back and when I know it's closed? So I'm like, okay, so think about if you have your car, right? And then it works even when you didn't change your air filter or whatever, or get your oil change, but it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then when you get that change, you start to understand the smoothness of like those new tires, or when there's enough air in it, right? So when all your chakras are open, you could feel yourself to the capacity that you can in that now.
Yeah.
And you have space to work and make those right choices to be better.
Yeah. And it even she was telling me how you can do it on yourself too. Like it is so, you can't put Reiki in a box, just like you couldn't put baby in a box, okay? No one backs baby in a corner, because it's just literally a whole big, like, it's just a spiritual experience that is centered on healing. But there's a lot of things that I learned today talking to you where I'm like, I'm gonna have to fix my life, because it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Your life will naturally fix itself.
Yeah,
like you
that
really don't have
too.
to do anything. And with your background already, it's just going to be another magical tool.
Yeah.
You know, like how I was telling, I got it because I was trying to hit control visions.
Yeah.
Because
And
I was blacking out while I was driving.
Yeah, we were dying because she was like, yeah, at my first session, I got it because I was trying to like control or stop these visions. And it was kind of like the driver for you to get into it even further.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know if it got worse or better, but it's all about, I feel like whenever you explained it a little bit earlier, it's almost you getting to your highest self so that you can have that high frequency energy brought to you so that you can perform Reiki, you know? So I'm super excited for this new chapter. And,
It's gonna be good.
Survive.
I think so too.
It's really a beautiful thing that you guys all get to you guys get to heal people. You guys get to help people.
Yeah.
You guys get to fulfill. You probably never set out to do this in your life. Like nobody never sat in school and was like, I want to be a Reiki healer. Oh, I want to be voodoo. I want to do this, that, and the third. Like nobody ever sat in their third grade class and was like, this is what I want to do when I grow up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you guys are taking care of your families. You guys are able to take care of other people and their families. You know, it's a satisfaction. Like I see firsthand from Noah, like the satisfaction that we get, the reactions that we get, you know, the impact that you get, you know, the way that people handle you, the way that people see you. You know, it's kind of like I have to tap her on the shoulder and tell her, like, you're different than what you think you are.
Oh,
You
we
know,
talked about
like,
giving
you-
ourselves grace too.
Yeah,
we were
grace,
talking
push.
about it because we tied up her show or wrapped up her show with a collective, and it was really, really good. And they both, you could tell, like, I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but Angelica, that birthday girl. Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Angelica. But you could tell, like, the energy they really, it's always light. And they had some of the most, like, I felt attacked. She's like, oh, I pulled some tarot cards and it says adventure, balance. And I'm like, okay.
Miss Girl, what?
and then you're like, the collective is give yourself grace, because we had talked about, like, I give out grace cards every day to my clients, and I tell them, like, don't be so hard on yourself. And then I'll be like, you know what? You should have did that different. You ain't getting no content out today, girl, even though you hella busy. So, you know, it's like, I heal, and my vehicle is hoodoo predominantly. But I also know my ancestors also laid hands, and this is a form of that, you know? So it's just like,
It's more than one way to skin a cat.
yeah, I told you that.
Oh my
did
God.
I say that today?
You literally said that same
Yeah.
exact shit. You guys do live together.
And our audience really likes you. They're already telling us to please.
Yeah,
bring
they're
you
already
back.
like, please bring her back.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'd love to do more. You guys are
Yeah.
fun.
We are. We're the ghetto, cool, spiritual, spooky kids on the block.
I got
you know?
a bunch of psycho stories. Well, that's
Psycho
a normal
stories?
Yeah, psycho stories.
Yeah,
It
and
just makes everybody realize that the things they go through in their daily life is not so weird.
no.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a lot of people that push all of y'all off and tell y'all, hey, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
Oh, sorry,
That's,
Mike.
you know, you're weird. You know, and now you guys get to all get together in one place and realize I'm not so weird, because it's
Yeah.
10,000 other people that are going through the same thing as me.
Yeah.
You know, and this is that's the beauty. Unfortunately, that's the beauty of TikTok, right? The
Yeah.
beauty of TikTok was that it gave everybody the space to talk about spiritualness and talk about what they're going through on a daily basis without being censored.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
now we all are connected, whether we're connected through Reiki or we're connected through voodoo or we're connected through Christianity or Catholicism or whatever everybody's connected
Wiccan or
through.
just general spiritualism.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Right, you're
we
just-
all go through that timeline where we practice many of things. You know, I've been hoodoo,
Right.
but I also am going back into just general spiritualism. I'm not a
Yeah.
master of hoodoo,
And that's
you know, but
that's what's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
what's
anything
beautiful.
to
That's why I was
master
telling
self, you know?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Whatever you
everything.
need. I
Yeah.
mean, I got a pentagram on my leg. I've gone through
Yeah.
all of it, you know?
Yep.
And I
That's what I'm
found my
saying.
place where I'm like, oh, I do belong somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, damn, took
Yeah.
me how many years?
I know. No, we were talking, me, her, and Angelica, and I was like, I don't know any spiritualists here. Like, I know they're here, but it's like almost like its own little secret society where
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are conjuring and, you know, doing work by themselves. And it felt good to sit next to two women that, if I say, girl, my energy is fucked up, I need a spirit bath, they're going to be like, oh, okay. They're not going to look at
They're
me
not going
like,
to go head and shoulders.
Yeah. I'll be like, you
Right.
need orange peels? I got some.
right. I got the frankincense. We got you. Or like a community where if she ever needed, Marba ever needed me, I could say,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? In hoodoo, we put this. I'm going to bring you over and some stuff, and I'm going to draw you a bath just to
Yeah.
help, you know? So
Yeah.
that's the kind of community.
It's about
Yeah.
being open to each
Yeah.
other's practices, but also building a spiritual community. It doesn't matter what kind of spiritual community it is, building that spiritual community where everybody can walk hand in hand. Like, your beliefs may not be exactly what my beliefs are. However, you're spiritual and I'm spiritual. How could I help you heal and how could you help me heal?
Right.
Yeah.
And I told you on your show, shout out to Trinity Oracles, and I'll share it here because I've had, I think, 2 more readings after they came on the podcast. You guys remember that? That was a pretty cool episode. It's 3 psychic sisters. And I've had other readings with Jasmine in specific. Shout out to that lady. Shout out, sis, because she told me, she was like, there's things that you need to let go of. You need to, it's attachments that you need to let go of. And I'm like, okay, do I take a spirit bath? Do I sage my back? You know, what am I supposed to be doing? You know, I'm running through camphor and blue anil like it's water. And she's like, no, you're going to meet someone who's like a shaman. I said, I don't know no goddamn shamans. I don't know nobody. I said, well, is it like this person? And she's like, no. She's going to be different from what you practice. It's not going to be a hoodoo voodoo practitioner. And so it's just amazing how full circle everything is because, You know, you have classes. I'm in a class, but I would love a in-person class.
Yeah.
Which, if you have information that you want to share, send it to me, and I can put it in the comments
For
of this
sure.
video.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely. I feel like the difference with my placement in life right now is because my whole mission was to make sure people felt normal when this is different.
Yeah.
Because I suffered with that for so fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
And some people still get on my table and they're like, this might sound crazy. I'm like, if you're crazy, this whole office is for psychos.
Yeah. This is a
Because
psych
I
ward.
pay monthly to like hold space for all these psychos, you know?
Yeah. So.
And this rent ain't cheap. So,
Right.
And when they realize they feel at home, that's just all we needed.
Yeah.
So, and I love being able to fine tune folks.
Yeah.
And being like, all right, now utilize your gifts. Because
Right.
when you do, you don't have anxiety. You fear less. Life starts fucking working more. It makes sense.
Yep. Well, Mr. Fresh, I know you want to talk to our fabulous co-host all night.
Yes. I'll see you
I was just about
whenever.
to say, I'm gonna let y'all go. I just wanted to say 2 things before I go. First thing I want to say is, like I said previously, Philly is not Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is Western PA. We from the West Coast. We closer to the Midwest.
Mr. Fresh, I can't hear you. It's Pacific Standard Time over here.
You heard what I said, sir. Philly and Pittsburgh are not the same.
No, he said that you were going to jump on him.
Eastern.
Yeah, Mr. Fresh, you get on me every week.
He said
Pittsburgh is not Philly. I know. Both their teams are football teams. Okay.
No, but listen, we don't. Not even teams. We don't even sound the same. We don't have the same ideology.
Well, and that's why I said it sounds like Pittsburgh and New York had a baby for a Philly accent.
And if you add somebody from Philly, they're going to get offended if you say they sound like somebody from Pittsburgh. And if you add somebody from Pittsburgh, they're going to get offended because we say stuff like cookie. We don't. In Pittsburgh, we don't talk like Philly people. Philly people, they be like, "Oh, you drawn? Oh, that's newsy." Oh, like,
yeah,
we don't talk like that.
Okay,
well,
all
you
right.
can't
Well, then
even
I guess
say-
I'll just say that all people from Pennsylvania just sound like they're from New York. Then I'll just cut. I'll just cut to the chase.
No.
Get everybody mad at me.
Well, you can't be that upset, which we got callers, but you can't be that upset. You
I'm
say
not.
Nebby. You say Nebby, babe. You know what Nebby is?
No.
If I say you Nebby,
And in Philly,
I'm assuming it's
in Philly,
something.
they say
and
newsy.
in Philly they say newsy.
What's that mean?
Nosy. Like you real nosy.
Nosy.
Yeah, we just say
Nosy.
nosy
I like
here.
that.
Yeah,
in the
it's
States.
just but I call my kids Nebby because he
Nebby.
says it.
Oh, that's a cute word.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let
it's
y'all
really
go.
cute.
I
Mr.
thought I
Fresh,
was
thank
gonna
you
be
for
in
calling.
studio, but I guess I'm
He's
not.
like, get the fuck off the phone.
Okay.
Well,
All right. Well, we miss you in spirit.
nice
Keep
to
watching.
meet you via voice.
Yes, this is Rah Rah. She's amazing.
It was nice to meet you via voice too. It feels weird to not put a face to a face, but I'll
Put
be
a
out
face
next
to a
time.
face.
Yeah, he'll be back
Yeah.
next week though.
Yes, he
I
will.
definitely feel our next
All right,
caller.
y'all.
You
Uh-oh.
feel
Our-
the next
yeah,
caller?
so next
Well,
caller.
okay.
Let's
So,
see if this
who's
is gonna be a
George? Who
prank.
is the next caller then?
Well,
Our
the
next-
next caller has or someone on this because there's 3 right there, right?
There's 3 right there, yeah.
So someone has a heavy heart. I feel a little bit of acid reflux.
Oh, that's me.
And there is shut the fuck up.
Is it you?
Not at this exact moment, but probably
Okay.
earlier.
Oh, no.
yeah.
So, and there's a little bit of hot flashes, palmy,
Also
sweaty
me.
hands. Is it you?
No, it's not me.
No, is it a woman?
And are you getting like a feminine energy from it?
I mean, it's not really direct because I'm feeling the energy in
And not
the body.
a gendered
Yeah.
identity.
Okay, so
Just
wait.
like how aliens have no form.
Yes. Okay.
But, yeah.
so say that one more time.
The heart feels heavy.
Okay.
And hence, what this is connecting to, there's an energy attached to this person that is not supposed to be with them. So that acid reflux could be, yes, medical, but at the same time, to me, it's a symptom of the body's trying to release it, purge it out.
All right, George, pick
which one of
wisely.
y'all? No,
Which-
I mean, which one of y'all got acid reflux? Raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
No, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, because they can do that.
Last 4 digits are 2342.
First thing you have to say when you hop in is yes or no if you have acid reflux. Oh,
Caller, you're in the room.
Hi, I'm Kayla. No, I have hot flashes, low anxiety.
okay. So we got one of the 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I did say 3, and there's 3 people.
Yeah, so
okay.
well, maybe each one has a little bit of something going on. Hi, but thank you. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Welcome to
yes.
Calls from Beyond.
Hi.
I mean, I'm sure you know we're a little eclectic over here. Thank you for holding.
Yeah, I typically watch you guys. I'm Darkness Critter on there.
Oh, yes. Hey, sis.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
That's a cool name.
That is a cool name.
My daughter came up with it. Thank you. So I have a Bigfoot story for you.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm excited
You're going to
now.
scratch behind Austin's ears.
So not many people know this story because, you know, the spiritual realm, like, I was labeled crazy. I was institutionalized, things like that. So I didn't really ever put this story out there. But I live in Michigan currently. I'm originally from like Green Bay, Wisconsin area. So when I was about 12, I was hanging out with some friends. We were driving around the Crivets area, Crivets, Wisconsin. And we were just young kids. None of us had our license, but yeah. But we were driving on these back, like, wooded areas because, like, up here, there's, like, a lot of woods. And we kept seeing this, like, flash. And it was, like, this hairy figure, and you would see these, like, glowing eyes. And we actually had pictures of it, but none of us can find any of the pictures.
Oh, man.
And, well, when we were driving down this road, there was like a gated area, and there was a chair down this road a little bit, and you could see something sitting there. And like when we pulled up to it to see what was going on, this thing just took off. Like, it was so quick, you barely saw it move.
And it was big and hairy with glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Glowing eyes.
Okay.
What color was the eyes?
Oh, no, I'm curious.
I'm just wondering if it was like
Well, because I've heard that there's a difference between yellow and red eyes with Sasquatch. But yeah, what color were the eyes that you remember?
They were yellow.
Okay, so I've heard that yellow is like more docile. I've heard if they're red, they're very upset or violent.
Yeah, that was my first time ever encountering it.
Yeah, I would have been scared, especially
How far away were you from it, if you had to guess?
I would say maybe 50 feet.
Wow.
That's close.
So you
That's
seen
very
it.
close.
Yeah.
Like
And-
it wasn't like an
right.
eye rub.
Right. And did it look like a costume to you? Because you said it moved pretty damn quick.
No, it moved pretty quick. I don't think anybody could move that quick. It was like it was there and it was gone. And it kept like peeking up in the woods and then it would be gone. And like we just kept getting glimpses of it. And, you know, we were kids. We didn't know anything about any of that stuff. And we seen like a dead animal, and it didn't look, I don't even know how to explain it. Like it looked almost hybrid. Like it was,
Oh.
I don't even,
Wait,
it was on
this
the
was in
road.
Wisconsin?
And I remember in Wisconsin, like Wisconsin, Michigan, a lot of weird stuff. I got plenty of stories from like living up in this area.
Damn.
Like, when you guys were talking about the little people and that, with me being Native American, like we usually offer them like jujus and tobacco and like thank you for their presence,
Yeah.
kind of like out of respect thing. And
Yep.
typically they'll leave you alone. Sometimes you throw some silver down or something like that. I've had things with the Pysox too.
Yeah,
But, yeah,
it
that's my
depends on
Bigfoot
where you
story.
come from, because sometimes
Yeah.
if you gift them in a respectful way, like we're even, like doing days, we're even. They're kind of like the Fae.
Yeah.
In that aspect where some cultures believe like if they leave you something like a pretty rock, you leave another pretty rock, and y'all are square. Like, but don't just take their shit. And then
It's almost
not-
like a crow kind of thing, like how they are with that.
yeah.
I
but
had a friend make a deal with his duendes. in his
Oh,
house,
man.
But he didn't know anything.
he didn't know no
He
better.
didn't know what he needed.
Now he has a 30% interest loan with them.
He needed help, and they offered him help. And now that he's in a higher vibration, I believe, he's like, he calls me every once in a while. And he's like, can you please get rid of these things? And I'm like, that's kind of a tough
You
one.
literally
Right.
just said the plot of Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Where like
Yep.
they're in a dark place, they get this entity that helps them. They're in a higher place, and that dark entity is like, no, you're still
Yeah.
with me.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No matter
Poor
what,
man.
you're with me.
Yep. Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, thank you so much. We don't get too many
Thank
Bigfoot
you.
stories. We're starting to get them more, but that was a good one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're welcome. Well,
still learning
also
to
in the
believe.
Native American, like back in the day, they used to do a lot of trading with Bigfoot. And like we believe that they can
I've read
actually
that.
like burrow underground. That's why one minute you can see them, the next minute they're gone because they can actually burrow into the ground.
Really quick. Like,
I've heard they're interdimensional. Like I interviewed a Sasquatch researcher, and he was like, "I've seen one open up like a
Yeah.
fabric in
Yeah.
time and just like step through, and they were in like a different dimension."
Yeah, I've heard that too.
wow, that's crazy. The
I
world
believe
is magical.
Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Oh, you're welcome.
Have
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. Have a great rest of your night.
Okay. That was our
Thank you,
friend
you
with
too.
hot flashes. Okay, let's see if
All right.
anybody else.
Okay, so you said heavy heart,
Heavy heart.
acid reflux, hot flashes. We've
Yeah.
ruled out hot flashes.
Yeah, I also
Potentially.
have the chat open too, so it's possible that when I'm reading these names, I'm getting like transitions.
Well,
very
Keisha
quickly.
said, and Keisha's one of the callers coming up, but she was like,
"Oh,
it's not me, but definitely hot flashes over
yeah."
here.
It doesn't have to be like right now you're having it, but if you've been experiencing it for a while, my body will pick up kind of like the common reoccurrence
Makes me
things.
think of call me now, child.
And then there's someone that I could feel that there was like a slight anger that came through.
Oh,
Like someone has that, I don't know, that
like
anger.
pent up.
Yeah, whether it's pent up or they commonly get angry pretty often and they know it's like maybe their problem. Problem
Yeah.
sounds like a big word, but just a thing that they're going through. I still feel the heartache though, so maybe pending.
Who do we have next, George?
Our next caller ends in 3139.
And while that caller's coming in, Kamisha
I
sent
was
a
gonna
$10
say,
super
I was
chat.
looking for it and I
Yep.
could not find
Said,
it.
I had two dreams. One was I dreamed of two baby girls. Turned out my
Okay.
godmom is having girls in the same month. Then had one of my dad and my other sister having a boy, and she had a boy.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Do you dream in 4K since you have all these gifts?
They look the same as real life. Remember, I was just
Yeah.
telling you on my show that I was sleeping and I was watching our show, the show that I was on already.
That was like freaky. So she went to sleep, basically, chat. She went to sleep, and before she went to sleep, you were saying like your mind just.
My body was already
Yeah.
healing and doing the channels when I wasn't here in this 3D yet. It was at time advance in my
Right.
body. And I was watching from like the top corner of this room.
Yes,
Watching all of
us.
us do
Yeah.
the podcast. So I already knew what I was going to wear. I knew obviously where we would sit and just things. Like
She
I
knew
would see
George
random
was going to
things.
wear a green
Yeah.
shirt.
Actually, I didn't see George because I saw my podcast. That
Oh,
we were on.
right. So you
Yeah.
saw
So it was
us
just
four.
me. Yes,
Yeah.
us four. So
Our
that's
caller is
crazy.
in though.
I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So,
Can you
do
hear
you
me?
have a heavy heart or acid? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out who Rara is feeling.
She is feeling me, and you are on point, sis. Heavy heart, sweaty palm, acid reflux. I thought it was just a bad crab cake, but that might be something else.
So my body moves
definitely
when
the
there's
hot flashes,
confirmation.
especially
Yes.
now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm like a
I gotta
giant
give you that
antenna, so when my
confirmation. You are on
hands
point.
move, sorry, it looks funny on TV. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
her
Oh my
show,
God.
she said people think she has Tourette's sometimes.
Yeah, because it's confirmation.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh,
amazing. She
I
had
could feel
everything.
it evaporating it from
Yeah.
my body now.
She had everything. It wasn't just one or two. She's everything. That's amazing.
But then common thread, other callers may also have similar things. Oh.
But please go ahead with your call. Sorry, we were
That's
wanting to
crazy.
see if it was you.
I'm listening. Well, there's so many ways I could go with this. You mentioned something, a spirit or something attached that shouldn't be there. We could
Yeah.
go there. I could tell you about my Reiki story because I'm also a Reiki practitioner and I had a spooky experience last year. So you just tell me where you want to go.
Actually, George, what is the timer at?
I haven't ran it yet because
No, I mean, like, what is the amount of minutes?
We got about 15 minutes left.
For the
Okay,
show, yeah.
For the show. No, what I'm saying is, what do we usually give them? Is it 4?
I think it's like 4 or 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and give her 5 minutes because I'm actually interested in both. Sorry.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and give you a presidential pardon
Yeah,
on that
let's
one.
go ahead. We'll
Give us the
her-
entree.
Right. Because we looked at each other like, ooh.
And shout out
So-
to the Rams. They lost their game, but they became a member of NOAA just now. So
Thank you. Thank you, LA Rams.
Chargers are the better LA team, but you're better because you became a member.
Yeah.
Until the Chargers. Now I'm going to have to make an account Chargers, and they're going to have to become a member to
Can't
offset
wait
it.
for this story.
But okay, I think we have the timer ready for you. We're going to give you a little bit extra time.
All right. Well, let me tell you about I want to go with the spirit thing and let you carry along with that. Many, many years ago, I went to a shamanic practitioner just because I was curious and I knew I had some things on me. And one of the things she saw was a lot of my spirit guides, but I've always felt this entity from my family. And I know it's a male energy, and he definitely has some trauma attached to him back from enslavement. And that's where that anger and rage you just spoke of
Okay.
comes from. That it's not in me, but it's in me because I feel like he's trying to come through
Yeah,
and
he's actually
do
here right
something.
now.
And
With
I'm
my
like,
head.
You said she's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
He's here already. When she started bringing him up, he's in my head. So that my body movement is all him right now too.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, he
crazy.
doesn't want to go away. I don't know what he wants to manifest, to speak through, but I'm like, we can't be friends like that. But he's ever present, and now he's calm. He's in the passenger
Would
seat.
you like the translation
now, but,
a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay, so he's actually a husband of your past.
Oh my God, not a spirit partner.
Okay.
He's connected you from a past, and he's like, nope, nope, nope. He's upset that you don't even want him to be here.
Ooh.
Damn, telenovela up in here.
So it's a past life connection, which in this life maybe he acts as an attachment negatively to your body, hence with the acid reflux, because your body's like no. But maybe that timeline is meant to be carried on for a while because there's lessons and everything, right?
Damn.
Yeah, he's like, can't get rid of me that easy.
Dang.
But okay, yeah.
But I got a new boo. I got a new boo. You gotta chill, honey. Not this lifetime, baby.
You over here,
Ooh,
you
yeah, it's
blocking,
hot.
sir.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
Oh.
yeah. So while we're talking too, and I won't try to interrupt so much, but he'll move through you, hence leave, as I even talk to you, and we're just in the connection right now because I could feel different parts of him leaving, which is a little more gentle. Hence just the magic of, I don't know how I function. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah.
But okay.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy.
But continue
And I'm
with your
rocking
story.
as you're talking to me. I'm rocking for some strange reason because I'm a big old antenna myself, a big old radio. So,
So I'm
okay.
glad you understand because, yeah, it ain't Tourette's.
Yeah. Because she said it. on
I've
the
known her
show.
for a couple months now, and she doesn't just.
But it doesn't even look crazy to me when you do it.
Yeah, 'cause I
because
try to
I
tame
do
it.
stuff like that. Like, and it's not like a clap. It's just like, okay, that's the head nod is my like confirmation, and I always do it, especially during tarot readings. So it doesn't look crazy to me. So I'm just looking at you, and you're like, I promise I don't have Tourette's. And I'm like, wait, I didn't think you did. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead with your story.
Okay, that's it. I'll have to talk to my past life husband later on tonight when I light some candles and do my thing. We're going to have a talk. But no, so just so y'all know about Reiki, like, so there's Japanese Reiki and there's also Kemetic Reiki, which I trained in both of them. And they're both pretty powerful and amazing. So both of them together you can get some healing, some amazing things accomplished with that. So look into that if you're interested. But I had a client that I was working on last year, and she's a friend of mine. So I knew her, but I didn't know her and all of her history and business. And I went to her house to do the reading and the Reiki. And it was like a summer day, windows were open, whatever. And so I'm doing the work on her, and I just started feeling all of these things. Like my body got hot. I was like sweating, pit stains and everything. And I'm coming up with all these things. And some of them are like, yep, that's me. Yep. And some of them, she was like, no, but somebody used to say that to me all the time. And then my eye kept catching this little tapestry thing she had on her wall. And, I'm talking, and then all of a sudden I said something and she was like, that sounds like, she was like, no, never mind. And then she kind of started crying, and then the wind blew. It was like a sheer curtain. And then there was like a metal tumbler far enough away that I'm not sure how the curtain reached it, but the tumbler fell over, and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, what was that? She was like, that sounds like my friend so-and-so. And he passed away. And like one of the things I asked her was about like, suicide and feelings of despair. And she was like, no, but he committed suicide a couple years ago. And he would come around now because it's Pride Month. And that the picture I was looking at was like a pride flag. And so suddenly his voice started coming through, his energy to give me messages for her. And she was freaked out. I was kind of freaked out, but also, that confirmation of like, okay, I'm not losing it. But also after that, I realized that my wires literally were getting crossed, and I needed to pause Reiki and fix my back, because he also told me I had an issue with my back and spine. And sure enough, I went to the chiropractor and I did. So I've been working on that. So I put a pause on my Reiki, but that was just super fascinating that I picked him up and he was just like, yeah, you need to fix your back before I go.
How you gonna read me, sir? I'm the reader. I do that. That is insane. Oh my gosh.
But I appreciate it because he was right. He was right.
Yeah, he needed you and you needed him.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the other story was that one was with the creepy Reiki, and then the other one, I forgot.
I did too.
Remind me, sis, your
I
other
was so
story.
caught off guard.
Oh my God, I got so many stories, y'all. Like this morning, I had people at the end of my bed having a conversation, and when I looked at them, they disappeared. Like I have all the creepy stories all day, every day.
Well, please,
but it was oh,
go ahead.
The shamanic practitioner that I went to many years ago. And like I said, she was doing this work on me, and she saw many of my guides, but she saw clearly my husband from a previous life. And she said the same thing. She was like, he doesn't want to go. And so she was trying to do the soul retrieval and send him away. But I literally saw him fold up and go into a pocket on the side of my heart. So when you said heavy heart, my heart started beating so freaking hard and fast. Okay. So clearly that must have been him like, wait a minute, they see me, hold on.
Yeah. Wait, so this is not the first time that you've been told that you got a man that does not want or that wants to stay, but you don't want him.
Yeah, okay, so
I kind of have known him my whole life, so it's not the first time. I'm just now understanding what that energy is now that I'm getting more comfortable with my gifts and the things that I see and pick up. Yeah. But I just assumed it was an ancestor that protected me and kept some things away, because I've been saved from some pretty weird things that probably should have took me out the game.
Yeah, he's actually here to help you. So the more you accept him with all of his whatever negativity in the body, your body just has to maybe adapt to him. But give him grace too, because there's a lot of things that he probably is holding on to that your body is not liking, hence the acid reflux feeling. But you need to heal your hand, your left hand. I get the crisscross too, so it feels like there's a blockage in your hand because if you haven't done Reiki, the energy needs to move through. But he's definitely here to help, so that's a good thing.
You're amazing. Look, we need to be friends because you said left hand, but it's crossed. But I do got a problem with my right hand and my finger, the spiritual finger, the middle finger.
Okay. Yeah, you need a...
So you're on point.
Yeah, you gotta do some healing.
And that is amazing. And you can feel, even though I'm just sitting here observing,
I got dizzy. I got lightheaded.
You know what? That's because you are the drama, probably. Nah, but just...
What did I do?
I'm just playing.
It's a spiritual...
It's a spiritual jokey joke. I'm just fucking with you, Austin. But
no, you're not.
But I'm sitting here, and as she's talking, I can tell that you are communing with spirit. You're taking it's the energy, like... It's different.
Yeah, I could see it when I watch psychic shows. I'm like, oh, I could see how they're reading.
Right, yeah.
Like where they're reading.
But you can feel the energy around her where she is like, she's listening to you, but she's also listening. It's like if you guys were talking together and I'm trying to listen to one of you, you were listening to both. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so listen.
He's like, let me tell you something about you that you don't
amazing. Know. We need to be friends. And she literally, you went like this, like I see hands. Yes, and it's her right hand, but
Yeah, because sometimes I'll say left, but I'm feeling it in a different place. But I know that it's not supposed to be identical.
Yeah.
My body will just pick it up, and sometimes my left is actually the right, but the right's actually
Right,
stuff
right.
like that.
she's amazing.
I
And
do the same thing when I'm reading, so I feel
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, this is my new bestie, y'all. No.
Well,
We're-
keep healing.
Yes, thank you for.
Thank you for 2 banger
for
stories.
yeah,
I
and then
know.
we
That's a
got to
blessing.
hear a reading.
We
as
solved
well.
the mystery, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Yeah, he's here to help.
Yes.
You guys make sure you're subscribed
Thank you
to
Maybe the
Rah
Rah's,
heartache is also him, like being sad that you don't want his help.
Yeah.
That was but I got a new boo.
right. I got a new.
Oh yeah, he's
boo.
heartbroken.
That is crazy, 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 crazy.
That's a
please
testament to
subscribe
you
to
though.
my
If he's
stuff.
following you,
Yeah. How did she wouldn't have known that?
Oh,
would not-
watch Witches and Mayfair.
Right.
I mean that show twists a little bit, and we're trying to figure out if the energy inside, which his name is Lasher, is actually a good thing for the family or a bad thing for the family. And it kind of seems like this.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to actually go home and start binge watching. Lord knows I don't need to be binge watching shit at this point. But I'm super interested. I seen the previews. It's on AMC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Season 2 is out.
Thank you so
Sponsor
much.
us,
caller.
which is a Wayfair. Yes, but thank you so much for calling. That was
You're welcome.
That was actually
Thank y'all.
amazing.
Also clarifies that we all do very similar things. in
Yes,
this world.
yes. Yeah, because I could feel that energy radiating off of you. And I was just like, damn, that's some strong shit. And I could see you trying to communicate and correctly communicate with the spirit and listen to her. So she's
Yeah.
amazing.
Translation is my favorite. I feel like it definitely is one of my skill sets.
Yeah, for sure. And I am going to make sure, Lauren, can you please put Rah Rah's YouTube?
they have been. Her and Mari
Yes.
have been just spamming it
She
in both
is
channels.
amazing.
Thank you guys.
The energy when I came in, it was so light and fluffy. And
That's
I
how it
was
feels
just
every
like-
time she comes in here.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel
I
the
know.
fluff too?
I do feel the fluff.
And then it's nice because whenever I come in normally, it just the energy is like boyish. But today it was very
Boyish.
light,
It's 'cause I'm in
feminine.
here.
I even dressed
tried to
like a
act a little more
12-year-old
feminine.
boy today, not even thinking like I was gonna do an interview.
Oh, it has like peace signs and
Yeah,
stuff. Though,
it's
so
a Nike
vibe.
shirt.
And it's a Nike shirt.
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So, but it was
Shout
really
out.
nice. I come in here comfortable every day or every week,
Good.
looking
Got
halfway
to.
homeless from the waist down. But it was just nice to be around other spiritualists that were women that were not traditional
Right.
spiritualists. Like we're the weird, cool spiritualists.
we
kids,
could look
so-
all kinds of ways.
Yeah, cheese. You know. We literally, this was a very, very good show.
Yeah.
I'm so proud. But you already knew that because you watched the show technically. I'm just playing.
From an astral plane.
Yeah, no,
She was
but
like, actually, I know at exactly 33 minutes we're going to bring
Yeah.
up.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm transitioning to the next one. Wee.
oh wait, you're gonna come back?
Huh? No, I mean I'm transitioning to the next person. If
Oh
there's someone
my
on the
gosh.
line.
She's
I feel
keeping she's
obligated.
extending the show now.
Yeah, I
I'm
feel
like, ah!
obligated to see who this. Well, what do you hear?
It's very. There's more posture feelings, so they're very. I guess what I would say is open-minded, and this is the feeling I get, like straight up, like sitting straight up.
Prim.
The way they carry themselves, they know who they are, and it's solid there. So why I get that feeling and translate it that way, don't know, but there's a lot of clarity in this being.
Okay,
We have 2 callers, so
okay, who's
Oh.
the
Yeah,
next
but it is
caller?
lighter.
Our next caller's last 4 digits are 1095.
we need to get George to do like the DMV voice.
10.
Counter number 17.
Place your bananas in the basket.
I like that. That's funny.
1095. Please put your
Star 6.
carrots in the basket. Star 6, please.
I'm sorry. Just footsies with you. Yeah.
Caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Oh, this is my first time ever calling. I always listen to you guys like the replays or whatever. I'm so nervous right now. But
Not
anyway,
be
Oh,
nervous.
the heat's coming.
We have a saying here, Rah Rah. Every
I
time
know-
they call in and say they're
no,
nervous,
there's-
every time they call in and say they're nervous, they always have heat.
Yeah.
They always have heat. It's
That's
always the
what you
best
say,
stories.
But
Well, I don't have any heat, but I'm just really nervous. Okay, so I know that you guys are about to be done, but hello, everyone.
Hi.
I go by the name Phoenix.
Okay.
And I have a couple of quick stories that have happened. So, probably about 8 years ago or so, I was married. I've been divorced for maybe 4 years now, almost 4 years. But we lived in a townhome, and our bedroom was upstairs. And my then husband, we were on different work schedules. So he'd leave for work like 3, like that, right?
Mm.
And so I would always go downstairs and lay on the couch because our daughter was also upstairs. So I think we didn't live in a bad neighborhood. I just don't really trust people like that, like people around, because there would be some creepy looking people around sometimes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always go downstairs because I figured if you come through the door, you got to meet me first. You're not going to get my kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I go downstairs, and my then husband is like, let me go warm up my car, whatever. He goes out, and I'm thinking I'm in and out of sleep. And I'm like, it's really not that cold. What is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
But then I just went on back to sleep or whatever. He comes in, and he's talking to me, and I'm in and out. And he's like, yeah, there's some people out. And we lived in a little community where we knew everyone in there. Like you knew who belonged there and who didn't. Mm-hmm. And he was like, there's a guy that just came by, and I'm looking at him like, okay, well, don't do this, don't do that, whatever. He grabs his food for lunch and whatever, and he's leaving out. Well, I'm still in and out, but I feel like, oh my God, he's about to get jacked.
Oh my God.
And before I knew it, I'm still laying on the couch, half in, half out of sleep. My spirit leaves my body. And at this point, I'm kind of looking like, what is going on? But my spirit leaves out, goes out ahead of my husband, because he's walking kind of on the sidewalk, because he wasn't parked in the garage. And so he's walking out, my spirit goes. I see the vehicle is the truck, the lights were on, it was 2 guys there. Like I could see it. I crossed in front of the truck to go to the driver's side. And at that point, I blacked out, and I was back in my body in the house.
Oh.
So when he hits the word and something says, call him, I never call him at work, so I know he's probably thinking like, oh my God, what's wrong? And I was like, hey, did you make it okay? And he was like, yeah, I did. And I was like, those guys, he was like, no, they followed me out, but they didn't go the way, they didn't turn when I turned. And I said, yeah, I told him what I saw. And he was like, wait, hold on. I was like, no, I saw the truck. I told him the truck, where it was at, the lights were on. He was like, no way. I think my spirit just, because I was still like, did that really just happen? But then he confirmed. He was like, no, just everything that you say. He was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, that's weird. But that was like the second time I had ever, so the first time my spirit ever left my body, I didn't even know. I was just laying there minding my business in the bed. And I noticed, but this was the weird part on that. The first time that ever happened was, my body, it felt like, if you had like duct tape laying on a table, and you pulled the tape really slowly, that's how my spirit felt leaving my body. But I could still see. It was weird. I couldn't move, but I could see.
That scared the crap out of all of us.
I saw, it was weird because I saw me standing on the side of my bed, but then I took a walk for a minute, but then I came back. When I came back into my body, I was speaking in tongues, and there was 2 other spirits standing there praying over me, which was, I didn't know what to say, because when I was younger, I used to have these dreams, or I would just know things, and I couldn't talk to anybody about it but my mom, because I didn't want anybody to think I was crazy.
And that makes
So
me
my
sad.
mom
There's
would
so
be
many
like, "Keep
adults
it."
like that now.
Yeah.
Where
They've been suppressed for so long.
yeah. There's some of them that they actually like admitted them because they were seeing spirits, ghosts, and it's just unfortunate.
My mom was very open.
Yeah.
I still feel like there were some things that she knew, and she didn't think I was. She could even interpret some of my dreams. It was weird, but we never talked about, other than just when I tell her about those things. But I also, just one real quick one. So I had a dream. I'm running through this field. It's daylight. Something's chasing me, but I don't know what. I just know that I'm running through this field. Well, I feel something on the side of me, which felt like a dog. It felt from when I was a child, which was weird all in itself. So I'm running, and I'm like, oh my God. And whatever was behind me was kind of like growling. Like, it wasn't like a dog growl. It was, I don't know what that was. I just know I was getting it. But my dog, which I didn't see, but I just felt it, would stop. And like to whatever was chasing me. Fast forward, I'm out of the dream. I go to work. I come home. I still feel something around me. I sit in my chair, and no doubt I felt my dog, which is weird, sat down right beside my leg like it was still protecting me. And I was like, what is going on? Well, a little bit after that, there's this big entity that followed me to work for like a couple of days. I wasn't scared. When I went into my garage to get my car, it was like, it was still there. Don't know how I got in because the door didn't open, whatever. It was like it was protecting me as well. So it took over from where my dog was protecting me or something. But it was huge. I could feel it. I couldn't see it. I knew it was a big person walking on the side of me. Or it was really weird. It weirded me out. But when I went to work, one thing I noticed is when I would go to the bathroom, it would not go into the bathroom. It would stand by the door. And when I come out, it would just walk with me. It'd be right on the side of me, like if I was tall, it was like shoulder to shoulder. But it was like it took over where my dog left off, and it was with me for a couple of days. And then all of a sudden, that wasn't there anymore. I have so many different things going on, but yeah, those are just two of the things.
That
but
sounds like
the whole
like
when you
a
talk
guardian or something, ancestral, because they didn't go in the bathroom with her.
Right.
And, I mean, I put limits on my ancestry, or my ancestors where they can go, but most of them have the common decency if they are protecting not to go in private spaces.
But to ask you for liquor?
They do it, yes. They do. They better leave me alone about that. They best leave me alone. I don't want to be
Liquor,
drunk all of
please.
2025. No. But thank you so much for
Yes,
sharing.
glad you're able to make the show.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, to astral project to that extent is crazy. It's diabolical.
I know people practice that, and I have a group I don't have a group. I'm in a group on Facebook, and it's just astral projection experiences. And I love just reading their stuff, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. I'm about to go on there and look right now. I'd never be on Meta no more, but I think I'm gonna get on it today.
Yeah, it is
Astral,
Meta.
all your creepy groups, send them to me. I'm gonna give my
I
number.
am the
Actually, let's
creepy
just send it.
group.
Oh, she is the creepy.
You know what we
group.
should just do after this is just start a group chat and just
Yeah, for sure.
every creepy group we're in, just
Yes,
post them in there.
Please, I need things to watch at night and make content on. But send me your
You don't want like the ones that I'm in. I'm
Why?
in like dark ones, like post-mortem.
I look
Groups.
at dead bodies for fun. Don't tell nobody else that.
You remember Rotten?
Rotten.com?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rotten.com.
George and I grew up with Live Leak. That was always the fun one.
Oh gosh, live leak.
Oh,
is
yeah.
terrible.
We'd be in middle school, and then George would be like, "You want to see this dude get his head cut off with a chainsaw?" I'm
No,
like, okay.
well, like,
Oh my god.
yeah.
No pulling that meme on me. You were that guy to me. All right.
There were a
'Cause
couple
I've
of
been
times where
seeing
George
the
would come up
memes
to
on
me.
TikTok.
There were a couple
No.
times where George would come up to me and be like, "Did you see that video?" And I'd be like,
I
no.
would be showing
are
you
the
other
weird
things.
group.
Yeah,
and I'll
I
admit
can,
to that.
I can honestly say, like, for fun, I look at postmortem. Well, I also consider going to mortuary school too.
I almost did as well.
Yeah.
And then I realized when I was doing nursing before, like I couldn't even pass meds without talking to a dead person.
Yeah. And that's why I didn't do it.
They told me you gave them the wrong dosage. Like,
But I still
Actually
play with I play with the same kind of concept even today. I just looked up mortuary school the other day, and I'm just like, but it's too much. It's too much. I already
do you like
know.
having
Too much
weekends?
grieving.
Do you like
Yeah.
having time off?
Yeah,
That's the other thing. Like I had a friend who I worked with at 2K, and she was a mortuary.
Like a
She worked with the coroner.
yeah,
Like,
okay.
she went to
the
school and everything?
assistant. Or like a mortician.
Yeah. She was a full because she went and did school and everything, and she said that she just didn't like that.
Yeah.
At 3 a.m. Hey,
That's
guess what? You
why
got to come
I
in.
never became a doula. Like I was upset at one point in my life. I was obsessed with bringing in life and escorting them to their final resting place. But I realized I like a regular schedule. I like to make my own.
Yeah.
Don't call me to come pick up Papa who passed in his sleep at 3:00 in the morning. I
damn.
couldn't do it. Like I would be upset. So. Same thing. If you're in labor, okay, well, that sounds like you problem. I am sleeping. You can't control these type of things. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Death doesn't take a
we'll
vacation.
just stick to content creation for now.
People
And
are saying they thought like a group chat with all of them. So now they're like, add Rah Rah to the Discord.
Yeah, you guys have a Discord.
We do have a
Yes, we
Discord.
do.
I'll
Oh
send
my
you the link.
God.
y'all
Wow.
make sure y'all don't be in there overwhelming my good sis talking about can you read me? Is something attached
Yeah.
to me?
Well,
You know,
do you
that's really
offer
it.
readings?
I do.
Oh, there you go.
Honestly,
There you go.
like
Just like with Noah, you guys can book.
I do what is it? Like free distance Reikis, but then I realize what I like about it is I like channeling.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is very much inspiring
Yeah.
me to be like, Miss Cleo, call in. Let me
Right,
hear ya.
right,
You know,
right.
like let me just
Call me now.
there it is. Next.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe
Yeah, you
I'll
might have
let
to
them
look at
know.
that, yeah.
I'll let them know when I'm ready for that because I'm gonna need
This is
Mr.
yeah.
Green
Yeah,
shirt
you'll
over
need-
there.
you'll
It's
need
not
us.
bad, right?
No,
People
I love
call
it.
in and
like it makes
just-
me feel very useful because
Yeah.
what the hell am I gonna do with all these antennas? You
right
know, on
if
my
you
normal
can't
day.
use them. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's just it's
Would you guys
crazy.
support me?
Absolutely.
Of course. What do you mean? I'm your number one supporter. She asked me after every show, did I do that? Okay.
Yeah, and she did the sillies, which she was like, I don't have Tourette's. She goes like this. And
I don't have Tourette's, I promise.
She grounded herself, and then she was like, "Welcome to," and I'm like, "Well, that was quick. Turned it on real
That's
quick."
what Angelica said. So she's like, you just switch it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I do.
So I know we
Yes.
have one more caller, but we are out of time. So George, if you want to screenshot that, I think it's Miss Keisha.
I'm wondering.
It's not Ms. Keisha.
No,
but
who's
this was the caller that was here last week. I have
No,
that.
we have to listen to that call.
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
You know what?
No.
Executive
Yeah.
orders. If
And
Homeboy can do
plus,
executive orders, we can do
She
executive
said
orders.
that somebody was calling, and they were very like they know
I
themselves.
don't, yeah, proper. I guess
Yeah.
is the word I would
Oh, I didn't
use,
ask if
but-
they had heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach.
No. It's,
Diarrhea.
and literally, she was like,
Yeah, no, I
"Whoever
remember.
this
Okay,
is, we'll
something
see."
just hit my foot right now. So if you have little tinkly feet, or I don't know, like you know that sleepy foot, but it's on the top for some reason. Is that your foot?
Oh,
No. Okay.
Not my feet.
not my foot. What about your foot, Danette? Did it fall asleep? Okay, let's.
She
ask-
fell asleep though.
I'm not making her wait till next.
Okay, all right. We'll go ahead and bring this
is.
caller in.
Last four digits are
DMV.
4566.
It is Keisha.
4566.
In chat, they said it's not me. Number 4566.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh, my goodness, Rah Rah. I don't know if you were talking about someone's foot tingling in the studio, but my big toe, the top of it, tingles every time I eat cheese, and I just had broccoli cheddar soup.
Okay,
But I don't know, I might just
oh
be
my
stripping.
gosh. Oh my goodness.
I need like something every time I get it right. Like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Go ahead and give her.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the way it translates in my body could be any kind of way, right? So if it's your big foot and me, it was the top of my foot or big toe, big
Yeah.
foot, bitch.
It's one of these mugs, but yes,
Yeah.
she's like, is it you? And I'm like, no. It's so crazy because today, her and Angelica, she was channeling on accident because remember whenever you were like somebody had coffee
Oh
energy.
yeah, and
I
it was
was
both
like,
of you.
I was like, I had coffee before I came here. She had coffee.
On the way, I literally messaged Angelica and I was like, "Bitch, did you drink a gallon of coffee? Because my heart is pumping."
No, that was me. And on top of that, I was running late and I couldn't find my purse. And I had a irrational fear that I left I left it at Chuck E. Cheese last Saturday or Friday. So I was just like, oh my God, all over plus that was caffeine. Yeah.
Well, I mean, twinkly toe there.
Now, yes. So this is our little baby.
Holy shit.
He just came in like he owns the
Mr.
place.
Fresh, courtesy knock, please. Next time.
Sorry, he came in to pick me
Sorry,
up.
caller, but he said my most prized possession is in this building right now.
Damn, just forget the kids, huh? No, but okay, so I just want to formally introduce you to this caller. She is a regular. She has a little boy who we call.
Oh, my foot is just tingling. What the hell?
So her son, we call him Nephew Unc.
Okay.
Is that what we call him?
Well,
Uncle
Mr. Fresh said, I'm not going to say it. Mr. Fresh can say it.
Knuckle. What are you thinking about?
No. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. It
Knuckle. So nephew, that's Mr. Fresh. I'm sorry.
That's who was on the phone for
I figured.
preaching his love.
Yeah.
Yes. He asked
My
me
darling.
That's what he's supposed to do. But no. In all honesty, we think her son is reincarnated. He says some of the things an 80-year-old. I'm sorry, about 70. Yeah, I'm like, we tease that he warms his apple juice and
He reads his paper in the morning.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I swear my son's reincarnated too, because by the time he was 3, he was studying the entire nation and was studying 4 languages.
Real quick, before we get to this, because she had the same thing. Did your son, because how old is your son now?
He's now 10.
Did he lose it? Like, did he stop after a while?
The languages, a little bit, yes, but he studies them like a normal kid nowadays. Like, he'll be intrigued by Duolingo. But, I mean, on his picture on his caller ID thing, he changes the flag every time. Right now, it's a Filipino flag. In his room, he has the whole literally every flag. And he knows everything in the world and could give you, facts on it.
Yeah.
And we're always what did you do in your past life?
Right.
Because, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But she has our little,
our nephew,
our nuncle.
Nuncle?
Yes.
Nephew, uncle.
Yes.
Nuncle, I like that.
Yep. But thank you so much for calling in. Please tell me he's told. Please tell me he has
the
told
prophecy.
You something.
Okay, so I asked him prior to this call. I was like, "Do you remember?" Because I know you guys told me to call in when he tells me, and it only happens when he, wakes up. And he told this elaborate dream. I can't remember now. And I asked him. I said, "Do you remember your dream?" He said, "Well, gee, Mom, after 3 days, I don't remember." I was like, "Oh, excuse me."
Oh man!
But it was almost like he visualized, I don't want to say the end of the world, but he was like, all of the adults were gone and the only people left were the kids. And he looked a little disturbed saying it because he was like, "Mom and Dad, you all were not there." He was like, "But me and my sister were and other kids." And he said,
Jimmy Neutron. Do you remember Jimmy Neutron when all
do.
the kids, the parents were
Lord of the
kidnapped
Flies.
by
the pants.
Yes, they were. The aliens kidnapped all the parents.
The aliens did. Yep.
Wow, that's so old.
but he's also descriptive. He said, I said, well, what happened to us? He said, this thing that looks like Ocho from Gumball. So I had to Google, what is Ocho character from Gumball? He said, that's what the things look like that took away, got rid
Space
of.
Invaders.
No. I would have been like, son. Nah, what is that?
Oh, I actually just saw someone post on, I think it was TikTok, and they were like, watching this, does anyone else see this? And it looked like that, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's someone's weave."
Yeah,
because it was like on a windy day.
Yeah.
But then when I was really looking at it, I was like, I guess that could be a weave.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, the tentacles were very
right.
Yes,
it
looked like that.
It looked like that. No, I know exactly what you're talking
you
about.
do?
Yes,
Okay.
I seen it on TikTok. Listen.
Did you read the comments? Because they're hilarious.
Yes, they don't take any. TikTok is so fucking unserious.
That's what I love about
It's
TikTok.
not even funny.
I love the comment
Yes,
section.
the comments
like,
are
that's
always
rude.
gold. But I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know Lil Man was just disturbed.
He was, and it's gotten to the point now where ever since that dream, he kind of seems like he doesn't like to dream because he looked really disturbed when he was saying that mom and dad wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
I feel that because that was me when I was on antidepressants. I hated taking them because my dreams were so vivid, and for me, it's like a control issue. But like, I didn't want to go to sleep because I was like, I'm tired of dreaming. So I totally get what he means by that.
Yeah, it's a few medications that have done that to me too. Like I tried to stop smoking and was using Chantix.
Yeah.
And the shit I was seeing in my dreams, I was like, I'm tired, but it's too much. It was getting out of control. Anytime you take nicotine patches, birth control patches, they
SSRIs.
make you. I don't even know what that is.
That's antidepressant medication.
Oh yeah, that too. So I get it. I get it. Poor baby. He also dreamed of dinosaurs too, I believe. I wasn't here.
They were
in
on Mars.
Miami.
Oh,
yeah. Did you tell Rah about when he woke up and was like, "Mom, is this the real world?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "No, this isn't the real world. This is 3D, not 4D." And he said this when he was 4.
What the?
Oh, I love that.
Yes,
He needs
I
to be my
remember that.
friend.
I know. He's all of our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our dude.
Yeah,
He's so smart.
when I was younger, I remember getting my diaper changed, and then I closed my eyes and I woke up and I was already like 4 years older.
Or you just jumped to consciousness.
Yeah, and I never went back.
Yeah.
So that kind of reminds me of his energy a little bit.
Yeah. And
That's
you know, it's
crazy.
so crazy because our oldest, he's 15 now. And he says he woke up 7.
Yeah, same thing. So that I always say, oh wow, that's when I actually hit my body.
Yeah.
Because you know how your soul can connect when you got into the womb. I don't think I
Wow.
got here then. I think I got here maybe around 2.
I think it's the same thing for me, like 2, 3.
But you know, me too, because my earliest memories, I was maybe a year and a half old. That's the earliest. And I remember some things, like, it's like gaps. Like, I remember events where I'm like, what the hell? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
You know, like, or whatever. And I was little, I was a toddler. But it's never felt like I just jumped into my body. My memories start very early, at the earliest, like a
But
year
you're
and a
like an
half.
elephant, though. You remember a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, why? And I wonder why that is, because most people, they don't start remembering things until they're like between 4 and like 6.
Yeah.
But I remember like stuff. My sister, who's in labor right now, shout out to her. I remember her being born, and we're 3 years apart. So you gotta think about it like I was very little.
Yeah.
I remember my brother, who's 11 months younger than me, being little at our birthday party. He couldn't walk, but I could. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
That
what
was
the
you
hell?
was like
I
2.
was
How you
staring
remember
at my
that?
body.
That's crazy.
Magic.
Yeah, and I was like,
I'm so glad you said
just...
out of your body.
Yeah, I was looking at just like how the dream vision I had last night when I was already watching us doing the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was already channeling and all that. So my body was literally doing this in bed, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm doing it again."
Yeah,
I was like, "Can
yeah.
we shut this off? Because I'm trying to go to bed because I'm not trying to be tired."
And this is
of
why
the
you are where
podcast."
you are, because
Yes.
you tried to stop it.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Like
You're
just in
astral
that
projecting
dream.
that light, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
That's
watched
crazy.
us do the show with Angelica earlier, or
Yeah.
her show.
And I was like at the top corner right there. But same thing when I was watching myself getting my diaper change. And then I was like, all right, ready. Like I was looking at myself, and I was at older age, went into my body, felt like I was getting my diaper change, felt like I was falling asleep. Once I opened my eyes, I was a totally different age.
That's
dope.
These edibles ain't shit.
That means you can you can suppress all the bad memories. Like imagine being able to skip through the bad parts of your life.
right.
Like my
Or,
first memory
little-
was when I was like 4. I was being in bed. We was in a restaurant, and my mom was like, "I wish I never had you."
Well, damn.
That's like my first memory.
Right? That's a shitty way.
Bro, what a way to come into
Right,
consciousness.
to come into consciousness.
I'm
But
like,
you were
well,
like
damn.
literally like, oh, I'm about to just go ahead and flip right into my
Yeah.
body. But I never had that aha moment. Like, there is no way. Me and my brother are 11 months apart. And I remember my second birthday and his first birthday. He was in a high chair crying because he was a damn crybaby. That boy cries so goddamn much. And I'm just looking at him like, it's cake is ice cream.
You had to be here because like some of the stories she tells me, like she'll tell me when her mom got into an argument when she was 3. Like I remember my mom was arguing when I was 3, and she punched this girl in the face, and I'm like, what?
And,
No,
and
she
her
just
mom
cussed
is like,
her
what
out.
the f-?
My mom's watching this like, I didn't punch her in the face, first of all.
I smacked her.
No.
I lit her up.
I be remembering that shit. And I'm like, and I usually, like I did a whole video on reincarnation for children. And there is that aha moment. My ass just didn't have the aha moment. I'm just like been here the whole time.
I questioned that moment or that vision that I've had for so long, my entire life.
Yeah.
And then when I got to the knowing, with the stronger knowing, I was like, that's when I chose to hop in.
Yeah. So do you honestly think before you choose to hop in, that's your previous life?
I mean, I think it's all designed, right? It's kind of like, it's a complex topic. It's like it was set for you to come in at that time, at that phase, but then the body was already being built to come out, and it was already 2 years young, you know, but wasn't really there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
amazing.
where we were at previously, I mean, maybe I was still dying in the other side and then transitioned, and then my body over there was already 2 and was like, all right, we're ready.
Yeah.
Come right back.
But you got to think the moment that she chose to jump in, it set the tone for her life.
Yeah.
Because it really was like the migration of what she would be dealing with for the rest of her life. You know, like your first conscious memory is what you're doing now for real.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that, Mr. Fresh.
Well,
Don't say
for
that.
her, that's
you
kind of
just gave me chills.
That's kind of true.
Oh.
Your first conscious memory is something that you do now.
Yeah, I believe that. And everything
No,
I
my first conscious memory was the transition and coming into this world. Like, I remember we were speaking telepathically, and I couldn't see it, but I felt, and they were prepping me for this life.
That's
like
crazy.
They showed me the house that I was going to live in and everything. It was like they were showing me the house before anybody moved in. And this is a thought I have had. My mom said, "Oh, you told me that when you were 4." And I've never, ever forgotten it. It's so detailed.
No, what?
And they even told me.
It's not just knuckle.
Right. You over here talking about
It comes from somewhere.
It's genetic.
from somewhere.
Hey,
He inherited that.
I had a dream of my boyfriend 1 year prior to actually meeting him.
And you meet him and you're like,
then-
we're going to be together forever. And he's like, what the
Kinda.
fuck?
Yeah.
She's
he's
a
a-
psychopath.
But literally, we were making jokes, and I was
But
like,
no,
"No,
that's-
seriously. Like, have you seen me before?
That really
'Cause I
happened,
already
like,
know
what-
you."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that what you just said is true. Like, I am so scared to speak on it because I feel like I'm living like outer body experience. Like what I wanted and manifested. It's like, this can't be for real. This is true. This is my real life. Like,
Yeah.
it's so weird, and I'm scared to speak on it because I don't want to jinx it. So
Yeah.
I don't speak on it. I just sit back and I just enjoy it. But I'm like, oh my God, this is everything from A to Z that I wanted, that I wrote down, that I manifested ever since being a child. Because no one in middle school is talking about the type stuff that I was talking about. Like, oh my gosh, okay, oh my
Yeah.
God.
I've
This
been
wasn't even the reason why I
manifesting.
called, but oh my God.
I know. No, listen. It's just some of us, we're like super eclectic, and like
I'm just happy to
I've
be
been
here.
quantum jumping, manifesting, scripting, doing all of this since I was like probably 14, 15 years old. So and I've always been spiritual. Somebody in the comments earlier, and I got distracted, was like, was I the only one that was playing light as a feather, stiff as a board?
Oh, yeah.
That's because the crab
when-
had you on the chokehold.
All the witchy people, like
When Angelica starts her session, she goes, okay, she starts with that
Yeah.
phrase a lot. She
Yeah.
goes, think light as a feather, light as a feather.
right, yeah, and it's like I've always been spooky. I've always loved
Same.
paranormal. I've always been spiritual. I've never not lived this life. Like it's there's no way I remember.
Do you
some of
remember
this
the
stuff.
show? If you're a 90s kid, do you remember that show Little Bear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I
They
love Little
They
Bear.
had an episode where they were picking out flowers and making like a stew
stew,
out of it.
yes.
And I went to the backyard and started making my
Hello?
witch stew with
See?
all the plants
Yep.
in the backyard.
And then you taste it and you're like, oh, yeah.
Yep.
And then down the road, here we are, herbology and the life.
Yeah, hello.
It's all
we
connected.
Had dandelion.
It is.
In California or Northern California, we have these things where they look like dandelions, but they weren't. They were actual flowers. We would tie it and put it, like make little tiaras out of it, and
Yeah.
then we would get jars and put all the roly-polies.
Oh.
Do y'all call it a
All,
roly-poly?
yeah, you put
No,
okay,
it's
so
a
you
pot-
just
it's a potato
duck
bug.
these insects.
Yes, we would.
It is a potato bug.
No, we used to, no, you know what? Get
It's
your
not a
Pittsburgh
roly-poly,
ass
it's a
up outta
potato
here.
bug.
That's a New York thing. Okay, moving on.
They must have something else over there.
No, and I've heard of potato. That's why
I've
I said,
heard
do y'all
potato
say it
bug.
like that? But
Pill
I would
bug.
collect roly-polies. We would collect different insects. Unfortunately, I would try to put a cat in a box because, whenever on the craft, they had all the different animals.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Fresh and I both just did the same thing. I'm like, oh my God.
This is why I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with now, and I'm a grandpa.
You're a grandpapa.
Yeah.
At the age of 39.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, man.
Are so cute. But listen, everything that you've experienced in this life thus up to this point was all ordained, and it's like we all agreed to this, except some of us remember those contracts.
Yeah, talking about memories though, real quick, when I was 27, I remembered my first ever friend was my first ghost. And I thought he was so real until when I was 27, memories started to come back. And I realized the things that I didn't realize when I was young. Why was he always wearing the same clothes? Why didn't he ever eat snacks with me? He was just
crazy.
Yeah, he was always just sitting on the couch and watching shows, but he never talked to me.
Her homie was Drop Dead Fred.
And so
I love that movie.
I'm like, am I aging myself?
he always wore the same clothes. Whenever my boy cousin, that was kind of like my brother growing up, came over, I'd always be like, oh, we're going to get to play outside. And then he would never be there. And then plot twist, my cousin, we all had friends in the neighborhood. My friend ghost, his name was Jacob. And I was like, oh, Jacob lives here.
Yeah.
And then my cousin would be like, that's where Joseph lives.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
No.
no, that's where Jacob lives.
No.
And then one time we went to go and ask, like, to see if they could come out. And it was Joseph, not Jacob. And there was never a Jacob there.
Oh
and
my
I was
gosh.
like, so
How did that even come
That's
up? What
crazy.
unlocked that memory at 27 years old?
because I started writing my own fucking biography because I thought I was weird, and I was like, well, I got to start somewhere. So I started writing from everything that I could remember in my old home where everything started, which was in Carson, California.
You're probably wondering how I ended up here.
Yeah, and then when I was writing the pieces, my channel started coming and filling in some more blanks, and I was like, wait, so he was dead the whole time? And then they start going, well, duh, remember his clothes? And I'd be like, oh, he wore the same thing. And
I just saw he was braggedy.
Right.
I thought he was just dirty as hell.
See, that take me back to how high when he was running through the parking lot like, I'm a ghost.
Yes. And didn't even, I can't.
He never biked outside with us. He never
crazy.
stayed and ate a Twinkie with me.
Right.
Like, he was just sitting there always and was just there for company with me. Because I grew up as an only child until my brother was born.
Right.
Oh
What
my
kind of kid don't get you in
gosh.
trouble for eating your mama's food?
Man,
Like, y'all
listen.
eating the
I
snacks
wanted to
together.
share my
Like, he ain't want to eat
When
no
did
snacks.
he go away for you?
When my cousin would come over, that's when I realized he would disappear.
Right. And so you continued to see him up until your brother was born.
Yeah. Well,
That
when
is
my brother was
crazy.
born, I think there was a lot of tension in my parents. So that's when the darker frequencies started to come along.
Yeah.
It was almost like our timeline for being at that house was also done because different things started to surface beyond the energy my parents were creating in the home.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That is fucking insane. Well, you know what, Miss Keisha?
Can I tell you guys something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to tell George. I wanted to tell George thank you for even allowing this call because I just figured I just have to wait till next time. And
He doesn't
I
even
just
have his
thank you,
headphones on. Give
thank
me
you.
1 sec.
Yes, and he's I said I was like, no, whoever this is, because we saw you last week and we're like, we're not gonna make them wait. She said, thank you. He doesn't have headphones on.
He doesn't have
so
headphones
can't
on. He
hear.
sacrificed them for the greater good of Mr. Fresh being able to hear.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate you, George.
Yeah.
Wait, I have one question
I
though.
thank y'all
Why does the foot tingle? Because mine has finally left.
She eats cheese.
It's the cheese.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay.
And the only conclusion that I come up with is maybe when I eat cheese, I guess. I don't know
well,
because that is the only dairy that I can't let go of.
Yeah, and it's only on one side, huh? It's not on both sides.
Yes, my right
Okay.
side.
Yeah, it's only on one foot. So it's a nerve, but I can't really find where that nerve is. But it definitely feels like if it's not manifested up your leg yet, then definitely try to go and figure it out. And I do feel it's dietary, but how like nerves to diet, whatever, how that works, right? And
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
But it's gonna grow. So just start figuring it out sooner or later.
Well, I thank you for telling me that because I just found out that my granddaddy's side of the family had poor circulation in their lower legs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
it's
would get a
literally
lot of tingling going up his leg.
underneath the knee all the way down to the top of the foot. So that's how far it could go.
Wow. Well, I will not delay then.
All right, Miss
I'm
Keisha,
on there.
ultrasound is in line for you, ma'am.
Right.
Please say what's up to our nephew.
Our knuckle.
Our knuckle.
Uncle.
I most definitely will. I know he's not asleep. I tried to put him to sleep, but I know they're not asleep. And the house is awake, guys. The monster house, it's awake.
You know
Something
what?
ran past the bathroom window the other day. It was like white smoke, but it wasn't smeared. It was solid. And I thought it was my son running by the bathroom door in the morning to get ready for school, just laying down wrapped up in his blanket. I heard the noise and everything bump against the wall. And when I looked, nothing was there. But I didn't feel frightened, though. And the black stuff by that door that used to look like liquid, it doesn't look like that anymore. It just looks like a dark shadow on the floor. But I think the house is trying to wake up again. It's
we
like
gonna start a
skeleton
GoFundMe to
key,
get
like what
Keisha
you
out
were
of that
saying
uphouse.
earlier.
She ain't going.
Skeleton
She
key.
not
That's what
going.
it's got to be.
She's not going.
No,
She's
we
not
need to start a
leaving the house.
GoFundMe to get Keisha out of the up house.
No.
'Cause
Out of
this-
the up house. You mean the monster house?
Yeah, monster house with the eyes.
Up house wasn't haunted.
I don't know.
No. So I would say, like I said, keep up with your cleanses, all the household members and all that good stuff. Make sure you guys are cleansing.
Yeah.
Just getting the energy reset in there.
And for the
Yes,
girls that
most
don't wash their
definitely.
hairs often, wash it a little more often, especially with all this energetic transition in our world.
Yes. Washing the hair is so important.
I ain't got no hair to wash.
You ain't bald-headed.
Then you're
It's
lucky.
like-
No, I thank you for saying that because, okay, I'm just going to leave it to myself. But yeah, okay.
I'm glad it's
alright.
helping if it does.
Well, thank you.
Thank
so
you
much
for calling,
this, Keisha.
and
It's
glad we
always a good
And
time.
thank you
Snuck you
guys
in.
so much.
All right, we'll
All
talk
right,
to you
thank
next
you.
week.
Yeah.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay. Well, where can we find you at?
Yes.
Like, what are you working on?
So, I mean, you guys are showing me that I need more love on TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah.
I definitely am on YouTube. It's I am Rah Rivera. I think. See, that's how much
It
I
is
use
I am Rah
Okay,
Rivera
I am
on
Rah-
YouTube.
And it's also
I'm gonna help her,
that-
guys. I'm gonna help her like I helped Noah. I'm gonna help her.
Oh, thank you.
We're gonna get her to 8
I would
million by
love
next
to
week.
Channel for you guys on here because I love it. I have the capacity to do it, but I'm on every platform with that same name. I am Rah Rivera. I'm most active on Instagram. Started recently building a relationship with TikTok because I took
It's
a
toxic
sign.
it's toxic as
I
hell,
took it as a
girl.
sign that yesterday my 2 clients came from TikTok, and I was like, "Oh, where'd you find me?" TikTok, and I was like,
Yeah.
"All right, it's time.
I guess it's time.
It's
Yeah.
time." But I'm glad it's calling me rather than me trying to work with it because that's just how I like working.
Yeah, that's something you and I have talked a lot about. Where with your show, you were like, before I felt like I was just trying to make it happen, but now you're letting it
Yeah.
kind of guide you.
I was telling that to George too. I was like, last year around this same time, I felt the call to start podcasting, and I did at your old studio.
Yep.
And then now that same call started happening towards the end of the year, and then I booked it again, and it's just in more momentum. It's almost like the timeline is activated.
Right.
properly
I also
now.
feel like it's just a better it's a better environment. Like we said, there was
Yeah.
like a whole ass veil in
Yeah.
the middle of that
Yeah, it
studio
was
that Noah
ugly.
was telling me about for weeks, and I was like, huh. And then we FAF'd and
Yeah.
found out real
Yep.
quick.
So
Yeah.
I feel like this is a lighter space, and that idea about channeling like this, that's
I love
pretty
it.
dope.
Yeah, I love it. So I would love your help and assistance, and I believe that you guys spark that inspiration in me a little bit more because I was trying to figure that out. But yeah, and my website is www.auraritualandpractice, which is my shop practice clinic, whatever you want to call it, here in Las Vegas. And I do sessions there, but you could always connect with me on any of the platforms you find me on. I'm very personable and I like meeting people.
Yeah. She's
Miss
cool
Noah-
as shit. Sorry, I'm ghetto. No, just saying. She's cool as hell.
What you got going on? How is Bali looking right now?
Bali is looking booked, busy, and we just had our expensive, yeah. But the good thing is that we just had our first meet and greet, and it went wonderful. So If you missed it, please check your email. I will be doing another one. The next meet and greet, we will be talking about flights and accommodations.
And if you haven't booked, you might want to do it now.
Yeah, I think we have.
You might want to lock in on
flights.
flights. You might want to lock in the flights before you book, because listen,
the flights,
them flights is going up like $1,000 every 3 weeks.
What is this, a retreat?
Yes, it's a spiritual
Ooh,
retreat.
okay, that
But
sounds
Costa Rica is an even bigger spiritual retreat. We have more activities that are tailored by me. And the flights are not that expensive. And they give out massages. That's
What?
included.
On
Hot
the flight?
spring. It's on a hot spring property.
It's on a hot spring. But
Okay.
Costa Rica, the flights are they're very affordable. But yeah, so I am working on my new podcast. Well, not even podcast, but my show, Tarot
It's a show.
and Tea.
Don't limit it to just being a podcast.
No,
it's a show.
Tarot and Tea.
Ellen who?
Tarot and Tea. So that's coming out. Me and my assistant are working on that. And also our ebooks and our store is nearly finished. So excited. So
Real quick, and just to piggyback off of what she's saying, she does have the Tarot and Tea show coming. If you guys want to submit your tea, please make sure you email theblackcauldron@gmail.com with your tea stories, whether it could be a situation where you might have did some conjuring work on somebody else and it backfired.
Right.
It might have been, anything that happened to you. It could have been somebody
Reiki session. Who knows?
I just imagine somebody's gonna call in or something. It's like, hey, it's me again. Yeah, I opened another portal.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Bitch.
Like that happens. Sometimes that happens on accident whenever you're just trying to regular conjure. So
Yeah.
just
It happened
yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Through a Ouija blanket
Oh my
Sheesh.
God.
that I put
see?
on a client that I was raking.
Why would you do that?
I didn't.
I didn't know you
she
could
was
do
just-
that.
Anything's possible, right, in this world of magic. But
Yeah.
I didn't know until it happened, and I was like, "What the fuck did I do?" Because I
Yeah.
felt like the whole world just popped.
Yeah.
said she was cold. I put a
And I was
blanket
gonna
on
buy
her.
you one for
cold.
Christmas.
She was literally like,
a
"Can I
Reiki,
use
or
this?"
not a Reiki, a Ouija
Blanket.
blanket. Damn, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe
you
I
almost got me
should've.
that for Christmas?
I would have. Yeah, I
My
turned your
cats
ass
would have
into-
hella conjured something because
Yeah.
they jump on me every night.
But that is insane. But yes, I want your spiritual tea and regular tea. The show is going to be different from anything that I post here or even on TikTok. It will, be tarot. It also will be you telling me your stories. But we also are going to get into some pop culture and pull some
Yeah,
cards.
it
on
could be
different
celebrity
people.
tea, spiritual tea, whatever.
Any tea.
Just tea.
TikToker tea, yo tea, your mama's tea, somebody
Social
else's
media
tea.
tea. Hey, did you see
tea.
X, Y, and Z?
Yes, wish talk tea, because
Yeah.
them is some messy motherfuckers over there. But so just make sure you're subscribed to your notifications.
Disclaimer: if we tell Witch Talk Tea, it's going to be from the standpoint of it being tea.
I've
We're-
already
we're
started
news
to clock their tea.
reporters.
Did you see my new TikTok today? Y'all go watch my new TikTok
I'll watch
today.
it right
I was
after this.
clocking it. Where can we find you at?
Yeah, so the Truly Bizarre, I'm letting those videos I just made kind of ferment because it takes a lot of time to make videos. And I'm kind of in client mode right
Yeah.
now. I'm trying to close more clients, trying to do more work personally. But if you are in the Las Vegas area in the next 2 months, I'm hosting 4 different nights of paranormal ghost tours out at the Pioneer. We already have one date fully booked up in March. That just happened over the weekend. So if you want to come do legit, and you can see the videos on the Truly Bizarre and I think
Yeah,
on your page
fun.
as well.
I loved it.
When Mr. Fresh was in there. Okay.
It was thick in there. It was thicker
It's
than a
thick,
bowl of
but
they were
grapes.
Mr. Fresh, I
choking me
could see
out,
it on his
bro.
face though.
Yeah.
You and I, because you and
It
I
was
wasn't
really
our first
fun,
rodeo.
and yeah, that was the first time I went. But those spirits, they were so excited, like they were.
They know they're like celebrities.
Yes, and
huh?
I was like, okay, you guys, actually, here goes a seat. Sit your ass down and communicate like normal.
Let me talk.
people.
Let me talk.
They
Let me
do
talk.
not hesitate to
Yeah.
talk because
Oh,
we
really?
like.
Oh, I'm so curious.
I'll show you
bringing my
the.
body there when I do.
Yeah.
So, I'll have to tell you about Brian, who does the investigation,
Yeah.
because his sister's a medium and she can't
Okay.
even go there anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're probably gonna be too loud, huh?
They're very
When
loud.
they know,
They were
it's
loud
like,
to her.
They were loud to me, and I don't consider myself a medium.
I'm gonna be like,
No, they were very loud. Like I literally walked into the dining room, and I feel like a little boy was playing peekaboo with me underneath
Mikey.
on the other side of
his
the
name's
curtains.
Mikey.
Yeah, I said,
That's-
whose kid is this? Like,
That's cool that they chose you or allow you to keep doing what you do there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, so I'm really good friends with Brian, who does the investigations with us.
Yeah.
He's lifelong friends with
But
the
I mean,
owner.
like the spirits.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because when we go in there, we're very respectful. Like I said,
Oh,
every
that's
time I go,
good.
like I did it all of October last year,
Yeah.
but it was my first ever paranormal investigation ever. Was at the Pioneer with George. It was George's first. Is Mr. Fresh's first. But yeah, I try to go in there and I'm like, hey, I thank them every time I go in, and I thank them every time I leave. I try to. I don't really have offerings for them, but I like try to give them the spotlight. I'm like, I have my cameras again. If you want to be on? You want to be
they
on
like
TV?
it there. And I had a good time. We got a link so we can do something. Of
course.
Like a big event there, because it would be just so
Oh, we're
dope.
already-
All
we're
the
already talking on it.
spiritual- All the spiritual paranormal people,
Yeah.
like
It would be super dope because
Yeah.
the space is just it's perfect for an entry investigator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because it was mine.
Yeah,
Because it's overwhelming, but it's not.
It's not demonic. It's not
yeah,
dark.
It's
Oh,
not
that's
scary.
good.
Like, they're not
That's
trying
good.
to
You got
attack
a good
you.
like medium then.
Yeah. Yep.
But yep, so I have that going on. I guess you can look out for new videos. I am working on a new TikTok series though of creepy places in Vegas and kind of the surrounding areas. So keep an eye
Yeah.
out for that.
So you gonna go to everywhere in Vegas then?
I have a list. I think I have
You're
10.
like, look, here goes Jack in the Box on.
No, that's a different type of scary. That's just in the living. No, but like I mean, we have the museum right over here. I already have footage of the Pioneer. I'm gonna go. There's a lot of places.
You gotta go. You gotta go to the Fremont.
No, I gotta go to the tunnels in the Luxor.
No, like
You gonna go in them tunnels
And never come back.
Whenever
No, but you
they
gotta-
kidnap
you gotta-
you underneath. You know, there's tunnels underneath the city.
There's
yeah.
The
No, but you gotta go
Yeah.
to the, you gotta go to the Fremont, like the upstairs, like where
Oh,
the
yeah.
Yeah,
hotels
he
are.
used to work there. It's haunted
Listen.
as hell.
Well,
Listen.
even the Bally's, that bitch
Yeah,
is one
yeah.
too.
Well,
Super
that was the old
haunted.
MGM, and then
Yeah,
it burnt
and it
down
burnt
in a
down.
fire.
I used to work at Four Queens, and we own both properties,
Right.
And we only used the Fremont for the pool. We didn't use the Fremont for anything else. We were only allowed to use the pool. They weren't allowed to use the hotel rooms. So
Yeah.
like the casino, the restaurants are all open. The pool upstairs on the second floor is open. Other than that,
Yeah, it
you
was
can't
too-
go nowhere
It's
else.
too, yeah. It was
Because
So I
the Four
gotta-
Queens don't got a pool, but the Fremont do. So they use their pool.
But then the Four
but
Queens
you
rooms
can't- You can't use the rooms. Yeah.
at the Fremont.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's too
All
haunted.
right, let's book a room.
I'm cool.
She said, "I'm cool."
Listen, my manager, like used to be there late night, and she was like, "Yo, like things used to attack me."
Oh, even Palomino. Remember my last
Yeah,
client?
yeah,
that was
yeah,
just
yeah.
Because
there?
Ghost of Interest has been there. Yeah. So
Okay.
her last episode, her guest was a guy who worked at the Palomino.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Palomino is haunted.
We seen the
as hell.
stripper.
Yeah, we
All of
seen
us
the
seen the
dancing
Yeah, on
stripper.
Ghost of
Yeah,
Interest,
there's a-
dance on the
there
pole.
was like 5 of them that came after I met him. He started bring the whole damn clan.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, one of them had like some dark demons sitting on her while she was just laying on the table while I was working on her. And he was like, all right, try. And I was like, bitch.
Oh no!
That's crazy.
Breeze
Yeah.
over here.
Nope.
Yeah, I helped her, but
Nope,
you know, it's still up
squaring
to
up.
them.
Not a demon fighting you actively.
That's
like,
hard.
nah.
Yeah, he was following me as I was circling the table to work in my normal routine. It was following me and it was like,
She was a
It was like,
dancer.
yep. She was actually a server.
See.
Yeah, all of them were servers. They weren't dancers there.
Wow.
What she was into?
Yeah. No, not
What,
even.
or
Them
what
things
was
can
her?
jump
What was
on
her
you.
temperament that made it jump on her?
For my client or for someone else?
I'm just thinking like the client. Like, what would they be into to make an entity?
You don't.
It's the
latch-
alcohol.
It
it's-
depicts you.
yes, that
It's
too.
the alcohol.
Alcohol.
But then there was also something about the energy there where as much as will she had, she just needed to just not go there anymore for that to stop happening.
Yeah.
But of course, normal human shit, she needed to work.
Right. And
Yeah,
I'm pretty
she
sure
probably
it's
wasn't
good money.
saging or
It's a strip
cleansing
club,
after every shift either.
But she knew like once she would step
Yeah, that
in,
too.
something would just change and one drink went from like 1 to she didn't even remember everything else in between.
That's crazy.
Well, you
But
know,
it
that's
wasn't
why they
even
call them
her.
spirits,
It
too.
was right,
Yeah.
and it was controlling her. It was literally slaving her, like enslaving her. She was becoming the slave to this
Like an energy
entity.
vampire.
Yeah. Well, it was just trying to, I guess, what is that? I said it earlier. Starts with the P. Possession. It was trying to possess her to come into reality in
take
whatever
over.
position it could.
I wonder if it was somebody that used to work there. like possibly dad on
No,
her job or
so
something?
all that energy, it's just transferable. Energy never stops moving, even like not even on a molecular level. So you got to think about these low vibrational demons that are in these spaces. I feel like they can jump off and transfer from person to person
Yeah, they
depending
really can.
on
Yeah.
Literally
the
like
place.
movie shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of people go there for issue. A lot of people go there because they're trying to deal with something else on a surface level. So they're taking their
Low vibrational ass energy.
their situations with them.
Right? Facts.
Well, thank you to everybody for watching, and big
Yes.
thank you to Rah Rah for coming on the
Yes,
show.
thank you, Rah
Thank you
Rah.
for
If you haven't
having
already
me.
subbed, which I have looked, you have jumped up quite a good amount of subscribers. But if you
Yeah,
haven't already
thank you.
subbed, please do
go
so. If you're watching
ahead.
on Calls From Beyond and for some reason you're not subbed to Truly Bizarre or Black Cauldron, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah, please send me a sub. Make sure you guys are following Rah Rah and all 3 channels for between these 2 and her. So 4 channels.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you for being here. I know we went way over, but
Hey, it was
thank
a
you.
vibe.
It was.
It
It
was a
was.
vibe.
It was really a vibe. Yeah.
shout out George. I know he's mute right now, but
I said, Lord, I'm
George, what are you doing?